Yeah, I'm sure they will be. They've just dropped out of the top six, actually, after the rest of the results on New Year's Day. They're level on points with West Brom on 39. West Brom have played a game more, though, so they'll be looking to get themselves straight back into those playoff places. Chris Owelamo and Joe Shannon are part of our commentary team for this one. Chris, I've been impressed with Blackburn this season. And they're a club that obviously we know their history, having won the Premier League all those years ago, but fallen out of the top echelons, if you like. Wouldn't it be fabulous to see them pushing back again?
No, it would be excellent. I've got to say, I think John Eustace he's done a fantastic job. A player I know well. He was my captain at Stoke City, my captain at Watford. Fantastic character. He's came in, he's assessed the squad. It wasn't the most glamorous football, but he got the job done. He kept Blackburn in the Championship. He's then went away, he's recruited, he's changed the style. They like having the ball, they like getting the ball, they like controlling the tempo of most games. They score goals, especially here at home. They've been good, albeit they're winless in obviously the last 4 games, 2 draws, 2 defeats. But I think he's got to be given a lot of credit. I think I covered the game at Ellen Road. Defensively, they were switched on, really nullified the threat of Leeds United. But they have to pose a threat themselves, and I think that was it. Just shows you the discipline. The players really buy into what the manager is trying to implement there. They can mix it up. They can have a lot of the ball. They conceded possession against Leeds and says, "Come on, break us down." And I think he'll get the balance right today. I think they'll go toe to toe with Burnley, because Burnley like to have it, go fight for that possession of the ball, and then try and implement obviously Tyrese Dolan, Kozia Dubry as well, and Cantwell. Massive players. Defensively they know their job, and he touched on it there a little bit. He says the players are up for it. They have to be. It's all about discipline today. They cannot go out there and play the occasion. They have to believe in where they are. They have to believe that they're not punching above their weight. They have quality and depth as well. Blackburn, now they have a clear identity that the fans, especially here at Ewood Park, really love to watch, albeit they have to get back to winning ways. And what a game this is for them to kind of if they can put the sword to Burnley.
Oh yeah, it would be absolutely incredible. You want to win in a derby, don't you? If you're a neutral, that's for sure. But it was a 1-1 draw last time out between these two sides back in August. I wonder what both managers will have learned from that, because we talked about the lack of goals that they've both had this season.
Yeah. No, that's it. I think it's that first goal is so important. I think it's a mental thing. Anyone playing against Burnley, they think, look, we can't concede, and they've got so many good players, individual players on their day, that they can score goals. Albeit 7-0 draws. I think. So it's important. I think both managers, and Scott Parker will be saying the same. Look, we get the first goal, Blackburn have to come out. They have to then take necessary risks to try and get back in the game, and that's where they can probably capitalise. But I've seen two sides to Burnley. I've seen Burnley get that goal and then sit in and say, come on then, break us down. We are completely comfortable without the ball. We can defend well, and they've shown that. If Blackburn get that early goal, you see the confidence in the team just rise, and players get on the ball, they really enjoy it. I've seen them dominate the ball here against Sheffield United, but lose the game 2-0. They created chances, so it's important when they are on top, and they will have moments in this game today that they capitalise when they're on top. They make sure that they do get that goal when they're on top, because like you say, Burnley have their moments. Burnley have those individuals. They have to make sure that when they are pushing Burnley back, that they capitalise.
My biggest concern for them is obviously Yuki Ohashi going off injured after 38 minutes against Leeds. Big blow as their top scorer. Still top scorer, having only scored 5 goals. Andy Vyman's just one behind him on 4, but that's really going to prove a problem creativity-wise.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he works very hard. Selfless for the team. That physicality is always going to be a question. I don't know if he would have started. Maybe he would have started somewhere in the back 3. Maybe instead of Kozia Dubry. If we start, I think Maktar Gay has to come in just with that presence. It's going to be a battle out there as well. So I think the big man leads the line well. He's mobile. He put the ball right back in the mix for that goal, that Danny Bart goal against Leeds United. A good corner to the back post area, and he went and he's attacked it. He brings that physicality. He's going to be an outlet, and there is going to be moments where it's everyone behind the ball, making sure that Burnley can't get through or break through into the 18-yard box, and he has to be that outlet. and he does. He holds the ball up very well. He'll win his majority of aerial duels. But yeah, Ohashi's going to be missing the top goal scorer. Of course, he brings that threat, and that's something that was very lacking in the last game. But they've got quality. Tyrese Dolan, as much as he sees the ball, he has to bring more for me with the quality that he's got. Be more of a goal threat. Todd Cantwell on his day is unplayable, and like you say, goals, Danny Bart, Hyam, the goals come from all over, so that's also a positive.
Yeah, massive positive. You need goals from across the park, don't you, particularly in games like this. Really looking forward to it. The players are in the tunnel. I do love a Route 1 playlist as well. Europe and final countdown. Get in Ewood Park. Brilliant stuff. A reminder, Spurs Newcastle is over on Talksport right now. We'll bring you updates from that and the other 12:30 kickoffs in the EFL as well. But our attention right now turns to the northwest. Burnley have made the short trip across the M65 to Blackburn, where both sets of fans, as you can hear, are in fine voice at a packed out Ewood Park. We love a derby here on Talksport too, so sit back and enjoy this one in East Lancashire in the company of former Scotland striker Chris Owalamo, alongside your match commentator Joe Shannon.
Absolutely right, Faye. These kind of days are what football is all about in East Lancashire. It is a derby day with extra emphasis. Both Blackburn and Burnley have genuine Premier League ambitions, and a result today would further those. But for both sets of fans, first and foremost, today, even in the cold, is a day to show club colours. The dark blue and white of Blackburn Rovers and the claret and sky blue of Burnley. The home team had the chance to jump back into the playoffs. The visitors can go level with leaders' leads, and maybe even more importantly than that, Burnley can further their hold over Blackburn, who haven't beaten their local rivals for nearly 15 long years. It is bitterly cold, but Ewood Park is pretty much full. It is sold out. Over 26,000 expected in the crowd today. Blackburn's biggest home attendance since May 2018, and that tells you all you need to know. There's a giant flag down below us a few minutes ago, a fantastic flag with a drawing on it of Jack Walker holding the then Premiership trophy, as it was known, in 1995, Blackburn's biggest moment. And a reminder, Chris Owalamo, if one were needed, of the history that the club does have.
Yeah, fantastic club, huge club with a fantastic fan base as well, a lot of history there. And like you say, can the good times be returned? I think they've brought John Eustace in. It's a big job, but at the minute he's ticking the box, not punching above their weight. They deserve to be exactly where they are. If anything, probably falling off the pace a little bit the last 4 games, but a win here today for both teams can be the catalyst, can't it?
And Chris, you played for Burnley, though not in this fixture because the two clubs are in different divisions, as it happened when you were at Burnley. But what have you made of Scott Parker and the job that he's done so far?
I think outstanding. I think you bring in a manager. He's had 2 stints in the Championship, 1 promotion both times. He's dealt with the ins and outs of a relegation club, players that feel they're too good to be there, players that want to move on. He's dealt with that. There's been a lot of movement. I think 29 players in and out. It's a lot of players. He's had to manage that, but he's done the job, and look where they are. With a win today, they're going to be joint top of the table. It's unbelievable.
Two towns 11 miles apart, split today on footballing lines. And if you couldn't get a ticket, the only place to be is your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Burnley in the claret and blue, the sky blue with white shorts, Blackburn in the dark blue and white, the half shirts. Blackburn playing from left to right towards the Darwin end, packed with Burnley fans, and Burnley playing from right to left towards the Blackburn end of the ground. There is barely a spare seat to be had, and after all the waiting, it is now time for the 106th East Lancashire derby to get off and underway. Final checks from the referee, boos and whistles from the crowd, and now the game begins. Burnley in possession. Will they be in possession of the 3 points by the end of the afternoon? A long ball hoisted downfield straight away. Josh Brownhill miscontrols for Burnley, and it's smuggled upfield by Blackburn's Todd Cantwell. Blackburn with pairs in goal. Britton, Hyam, Bart and Beck at the back. Baker and Tronstad in midfield. Dolan, Cantwell and Cozier Dewberry behind Gay. And for Burnley, the goalkeeper is Trafford. Roberts, Egan Riley in possession now. Esteve and Humphreys at the back. Lawrence, Cullen and Brownhill in the middle. And Anthony wide on the right-hand side. Sarmiento to the left with Zian Fleming down the middle. A lively start, certainly in the stands. So much noise pumping around this famous old ground. We're right at the back of the Jack Walker stand. A steep drop to the touchline below. It is Blackburn 0, Burnley 0, and here is the former Burnley striker Chris Iwelumo.
Well, already I've noticed Todd Cantwell just sitting on Cullen, not allowing him to get the ball. Basically playing up as right beside Gay, and that's it, on the front foot. That information's coming from the back. Stop. That's what Josh Cullen is, at the centre of everything Burnley do. If you stop him from getting the ball, what does he have to do? He has to have that intelligence to move out the way, and like a Josh Loren or a Brownhill to come in and do that. But I think Cantwell has that intelligence just to sit. Whoever comes in, just stay in that space. Stop them from getting the ball.
Well, Blackburn have got a throw in the left back position. Owen Beck will take it, on loan from Liverpool for the season. His long throw towards Maktar Gay. They're headed downfield by Connor Roberts for Burnley. Burnley with this outstanding defence. Just 9 goals conceded in 25 games in the Championship season so far. That has provided the spur for a genuine promotion challenge and a look for a return to the Premier League once again. Blackburn have it with Dolan. Blackburn hoping to move into the playoff positions this lunchtime, and he's wriggled away from the challenge of Brownhill. He's won a free kick just shy of the centre circle, midway inside the Blackburn half. Lewis Baker will take it, and he'll roll it to Beck on the left-hand side again. Tottenham against Newcastle, live right now in the Premier League over on Talksport. Here on Talksport 2 later, we'll bring you Premier League commentary of Manchester City against West Ham. But there's no better place to be on Derby Day than a ground like this. Clearance away by Humphreys for Burnley. Little flick by Lawrence, and he's given it straight to the feet of Cantwell. Blackburn having to get on the near side of the field. Cantwell with a mazy dribbling run in field. Blocked off by Lawrence. And the free kick given by the match referee Andy Kitchen in the right wing position here for Blackburn Rovers. 2.5 minutes gone, 0-0. And I just love days like this, Chris. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, a few challenges going in already. Tyrese Dolan took a heavy one there. I don't think that one's a free kick in my opinion. Cantwell's in good possession of the ball, tries a little bit of a trick and kind of throws himself into I think it was Josh Loren there, but no, it wasn't a free kick. But albeit they have to capitalise, this is an opportunity to put the ball right in the box. So important to the second balls. I think discipline, make sure you can be strong but fair.
Well, this free kick is at the Darwin end, where just over 4,000 Burnley fans are on their feet in the lower tier behind the goal. 2 standing over it, Baker and Beck for Blackburn Rovers. The 2 centre-halves are both forward, as is Gay, who's lurking at the back post. Danny Bart is up there, scored on New Year's Day away at Leeds. It'll be Owen Beck to deliver. No, he's going to leave it for Baker. Right-footed into the penalty area, headed away by Zian Fleming for Burnley. Burnley so hard to break down, with a great squad, a lot of depth in it. Blackburn, you have to say, they're 4 league games without a win. They are struggling due to injury in part at the moment. Kozia Dubry, right wing position for them. He's been robbed of possession by Sarmiento, who smuggles it forward into the feet of Fleming. Burnley on the counter. Fleming over halfway. 0-0 the score. Wide to the right hand side, and Jaden Anthony. He's got Connor Roberts on the overlap. Anthony shoots instead, and it's blocked by Beck. Sarmiento, meanwhile, is still down. 10 yards shy of the halfway line, so the referee stops the game because the ball is out of play.
Well, it's Lewis Baker that's had a little nibble at him. The referee's seen it. I think he's very lucky not to get a yellow there. I think knew exactly what he was doing. Sarmiento was breaking away. I just felt there was no need for the challenge, and it is a yellow card right down the Achilles of Sarmiento, and that's monitor right in front of us as well. Look at this one, Joe. It's very, very naughty. Very naughty.
Nasty challenge, isn't it, that from Baker?
Yep. Like you say, if there's VAR and we don't want it in the EFL, it's a possible red card as well, right down the Achilles of the right foot of Sarmiento.
We saw us sending off in the reverse fixture back in August. That ended 1-1 in a hard-fought game at Turf Moor. Maktar Gay was sent off for Blackburn. Header away by Dom Hyam for Rovers now, inside his own penalty area. Hooked over the top by Egan Riley for Burnley. Anthony chasing down by the dead ball line. He can't keep it in play. He nearly ends up crashing into the advertising hoarding at the front of the home end, the Blackburn end to the left-hand side. And it's out of play for a goal kick to Blackburn Rovers. Tottenham 1, Newcastle 0 Already a latest score in the Premier League live on Talksport. Dominic Solanke with the early goal. Stoke 0, Plymouth 0. Mark Robins' first game in charge of Stoke. And Swansea 0, West Brom 0 elsewhere in the Championship. West Brom, of course, without a manager at the moment. Here is Tyrese Dolan for Blackburn. Inside right channel, tearing forward. He's got Callum Britton on the overlap. Near side the right. Plenty of time to measure the cross. High to the back post, and Gay peels away. Heads it down. Only half cleared by Cullen. Blackburn corner, and they're on their feet around us in the stands, 0-0. Chris.
Well, listen to that, direct ball from Pearce up to Gay, wins his header into Dolan in the centre circle, driving forward, excellent bit of quality, pass out to Callum Britton. You're going to get end product from Britton, great energy down the right hand side, fires it across. What does Gay do? Doesn't go for goal, but puts it right back in the mix, similar to what he did for the equaliser against Leeds United just the other day. Had to be defended, and defended well.
Still some Blackburn fans taking their seats as Cantwell takes the corner, back to Tronstad, all the way back now to Baker, midway inside the Burnley half. He chips it towards the left angle, headed back across by Danny Bart, and then headed behind again by Connor Roberts, making his 400th career appearance today. Blackburn get the second corner. Equaliser for Newcastle, meanwhile, away at Tottenham in the Premier League. Anthony Gordon's got the goal. It's 1-1, it's live on Talksport. Best way to be across all the action is to download our free app. Another Blackburn corner.
Yeah, how many times have we seen this? All Blackburn players right at the back post area, driving across, difficult to defend against, but a couple of times they're taking it short, haven't they?
Cantwell will chip it into the back post, punched away by James Trafford, and the flag was up anyway from the assistant referee, presumably for an offside, because they did take the corner short. Owen Beck came across and they worked it to the former Norwich man Cantwell on the left corner of the penalty area. Deep ball to the back stick. Why has that been given, Chris Wellerman?
Yeah, well, the defensive line of Burnley step up. I don't understand why take it short. You've got Danny Barth, you've got Hyam.
Yep.
You've got players, Bakhtar that you've got players that can go and cause a real threat. Just put it right in the mix. Make Burnley defend when you get given the opportunity. I just don't understand why take it short.
Well, Burnley are good at defending. 16 clean sheets this season, Chris. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I understand maybe that's why you try and mix it up, change the angle, but when you've got the players like so aggressive with their head as well in your own side, put it right in the mix.
And as you'd expect, it's been quite an aggressive and tenacious first 7.5 minutes, but it is Blackburn 0, Burnley 0, and neither team is free scoring, so it might be one of those tight Derby Day matches.
Oh, definitely, and you've already called it in your commentary about the sending off in the last fixture.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that both managers will say, look, you have to be disciplined, strong but fair. You can't go out there and get silly yellow cards, be reckless. And we've seen a few challenges already that probably warranted more punishment.
Headed down by Gay, big striker, 6'5", but he does have a flash of temper, as we saw when he was sent off back in August at Turf Moor. A game where Burnley took an early lead through Lyle Foster, but Andy Vyman's brilliant goal earned Blackburn a point. Big diagonal from CJ Egan-Riley to the near side of the field. He looks for the run of Humphreys, but Dolan there on the cover, almost in the Blackburn right back position, just dropping into help it away from danger. Already we can see that Egan-Riley loves that long diagonal ball from right out to left. Blackburn have possession back, still 0-0.
Yeah, well, it's always an outlet, isn't it? Humphreys and Sarmiento is, so yeah, I think use it, have to be better on the ball. Took a too big a touch. I've got to say Tyrese Dolan is doing the job, coming back for his team defensively, but on the ball he's looking so sharp. I think he's seen a lot of it already, Tyrese Dolan.
Talksport 2, your home of the EFL, the only place on national radio to hear exclusive Championship, League 1 and League 2 radio commentaries. And we've got Sunderland against Portsmouth for you, live tomorrow at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2. What a trip that is for Portsmouth. Sunderland very much in the promotion race, just like Burnley, as Baker has to stretch to retrieve the ball back to him from Britton in an awkward area on the edge of his own penalty area. Blackburn smuggle it clear and win a throw about midway inside their own half. I can see John Eustace in the tracksuit on the edge of his technical area. Scott Parker's got some kind of designer jacket on. They have quite different styles, but they've both been effective this season.
No, they have. And even there, John Eustace coming out, applauding his team, trying to play out from the back. They're just trying to create that a little bit more space in that middle third. And they've been very good on it, albeit just that final pass is letting them down under the pressure of that Burnley press. But you know what, this is the way that Blackburn play, all comfortable, try and play through the thirds. They've got that outlet in Gay if they want to go a little bit more direct as well, from back to front with quality, which they do have.
10 minutes gone and it's goalless. Former Scotland striker, former Burnley striker, whisper that in this part of the main stand. Chris Owelamo with me in the commentary position as Blackburn win a throw on the riverside of Ewood Park. Owen Beck will take it in the left back position, and they're just settling down into the game, I think, now, both teams. We have had a couple of niggly challenges going in, including that one from Baker right on the back of the Achilles of Sarmiento that went unpunished by the referee. Long ball thumped downfield by Hyam, swinging from right to left, and the header away by Roberts in the right back position for Burnley. Kozia Dubry seizes upon it, races to the dead ball line, floats in a great cross, and it's tucked away by Humphreys, out of play for a corner kick, because Tyrese Dolan was looking to meet that at the back post. If he had done, Blackburn might have been in front. They've got a corner.
Joe, it's about knowing your players. Kozia Dubry there, when he's got the ball, you know that he's winding that left leg up to put the cross in there. Gay has to be on the end of that. Tyrese Dolan has to be on the reacted to it. They've got to anticipate the quality that he's got. That was right on the money. And it had to be defended well, but I think the opportunity was there for Dolan to get across the front of his man, or even Gahey to kind of work his feet a little bit better and make sure he's the first contact on that cross. What a cross it was.
Hyam has gone right in front of the young goalkeeper James Trafford, who we saw struggle, of course, in the Premier League last season. Much improved in the Championship again this year. Owen Beck delivers right underneath the crossbar, but too much on it, and it'll float behind and away. You can tell by the ironic cheers under these cloudy skies and a chilly afternoon that it is a goal kick to Burnley away to the right hand side.
Yeah, Owen Beck, I think with the quality that he has, will be disappointed with that. Similar to the corner kick with equalised the other night, right to the back post area, just too much on it. Gay never had the ability to get round and try and keep that one in. Just too much pace on the cross itself.
Tottenham 1, Newcastle 1 already this lunchtime in the Premier League, live on Talksport. Goalless everywhere in the EFL so far this lunchtime, as Gay goes in with Humphreys, 50-50 challenge, shove in the back right in front of the assistant referee. Free kick to Burnley.
There's no need for Gay to make that challenge. Humphreys cannot go anywhere. So what do? You as a striker, you know, it doesn't matter if you're tired, whatever it is, you keep him in the corner. Humphreys, what does he do? Does he go back to goalkeeper under this pressure with how hostile it is, or does he just throw it out and you get a throw in the attacking third? And I just think that's the little moments where Gay can be better.
Well, he's certainly got the mantle, hasn't he, Chris, of leading the line today, because Yuki Hashi is out injured. That's a big blow for Blackburn, who have struggled for goals. So Hashi is their top scorer, and he's only managed 6. As Callum Britton heads away from the Blackburn right back position, near side of the field. We're right at the very back row nearly of the two-tiered Jack Walker stand on one side of the pitch. Here come Burnley, neat interplay down the left, poked forward by Humphreys into the feet of Josh Laurent, and he's controlled in front of Britton, and he's hoisted in across right-footed. That'll be headed up into the air by Bart. Not much distance on that. Climbing is Brownhill to nod it down. Bart only half away once again. Nervy defending for Blackburn Rovers. Eventually Kozia Dubry gets something on it to smuggle it towards the right-hand side and the touchline, and then Gay's touch is a clumsy one. Out of play it goes for a Burnley throw, and for the first time in the game really, Blackburn 0, Burnley 0, 13.5 minutes gone. There was a bit of indecision and not a great deal of assertiveness in terms of the way that Blackburn defended.
Yeah, Danny Bart, you know, when he's got a clear header, he just has to make sure he gets distance on that. He's tried to kind of generate the power himself, which kind of moves his body shape as well, comes up and down at the edge of the box, but they won the second balls. It's important, but Gay has to be better there. You can easily slip it to the feet of Tyrese Dolan. He tries to flick it over the top, just too much on it. But Burnley had a little bit of moment there, keeping the ball very well. Tell you what, I thought it was, I think Connor Roberts knows exactly what he's doing there with Kozia Dubry, running across the path of him. Referee seeing it. I think if a free kick's given, I don't think there'll be too much of an argument.
Blackburn 0, Burnley 0. Burnley starting the day second in the Championship, 3 points off the leaders' leads. Probably too far behind in terms of goal difference to overtake them. They'd need an enormous win to do that. Blackburn, as it stands, just outside the playoff places on goal difference behind West Bromwich Albion. Swansea 0, West Brom 0, and Stoke 0, Plymouth 0 elsewhere in the Championship today. There's a free kick for Burnley in the centre circle. It'll be taken by Cullen, who plays the ball to the right back position, and Connor Roberts quickly forward to the halfway line. Jayden Anthony with the lime green boots on. He's on loan from Bournemouth, where he played under Scott Parker, so the two know each other well. Another of football's little mini networks, managers knowing players, and often they follow each other around various clubs. Burnley have the ball, and Chris has spotted something. What are you spotting, Chris?
It's outstanding. I've got to say, Blackburn without the ball have been excellent. Look at Cantwell in there, Gay in there. That's Tronstad going and putting pressure on, and look at this.
He's won it back half the pitch, and Baker's tearing forward. Look for Gay with the pass. Stretching on the slide to intercept was Egan Riley, who cleared it away for Burnley. It was a bit predictable that they would look for Gay in that position, and now Burnley on the counter. Sarmiento out on the far side to right, 0-0 on Talksport 2. Jayden Anthony takes on Beck. He dribbles beyond it. He whips in the cross. It's a lovely ball. Zian Fleming wasn't really anywhere near to it. And here come Blackburn on the counter again. Playing from left to right in the first half, Blackburn Rovers in their halved shirts, the dark blue and white, very recognisable Blackburn Rovers. Premier League champions in 1995, but they haven't been in the Premier League since 2012. Burnley, of course, have had their own spell in the Premier League, aplenty since 2012, looking to return to the top flight at the end of the season. Cullen has gone in on Cantwell. What's the referee going to do here, I wonder?
Well, he's got to have a talk with both players, because Cantwell came in very strong on Cullen. They had a little kind of high fives, but there was no intent in the handshake itself. So the referee, I think it's fantastic refereeing. Very easily he could have given 2 yellow cards for the challenge, but he's talking to the players saying, right, okay, next one, calm it down now. But Todd Cantwell's really doing a job on Cullen. I think really stopping Burnley from playing, and I think you need a little bit more. That's where the game can be won and lost. It's interesting when you've got Baker, Tronstad and Cantwell, rotating. Sometimes it's Cantwell that's receiving the ball off that defensive unit of Blackburn. I need more from the likes of Brownhill, Lauren and Cullen, because when that defensive unit of Burnley have the ball, they don't have that outlet. They can't pass it into that three.
Gay driving down the right wing position, and the low cross into the near post is intercepted by Esteve. Burnley should clear here, but they don't. Britton wins it back in the right wing position, and then it's hammered away by Laurent downfield. There was a couple of tangles of legs in that instance. I think they were both at it, really. Blackburn fans who were packed around us in the commentary position wanted a free kick, but it wasn't given, and it is still 0-0 17 minutes into the 106th East Lancashire derby in major competitions.
I don't know what your thought is in this, Joe, but Zian Fleming, for me, I think when you're playing with your back to goal, it's very different. He's not a 9. He's a 10 all day for me, and he'd play perfect with an Ashley Barnes.
That's how I've seen him as well. Yep.
That's where he had most of his joy. Millwall. He played at that 3 in behind the outlet. He finds little pockets. He drives at defences. He pulls players out of position. For me, he doesn't really bring too much to the game when his back's to play, especially up against a Hyam and a Danny Bart.
And Hyam sends a long ball spiralling downfield, and it bounces on the edge of the penalty area through to the Burnley goalkeeper Trafford in that faded yellow kit. Not a game of a great chance creation so far. Burnley trying to play out of the back, and when Burnley do settle in possession, Bashir Humphreys moves out to the left, plays as a left wing back, and Burnley have a 3 set of almost centre halves, albeit they're in possession. Roberts, Egan Riley and Esteve, and those 3 plus Trafford and then Humphreys and Lucas Perez have formed this magnificent Burnley back 5, which has been outstanding this season. Egan Riley pumps the ball high down the right. Brilliant ball, well controlled by Anthony. Anthony looks to dart infield straight away. Nobody was in the middle there to aim for the cross, as if to illustrate the point that Chris Iwelumo just made. Burnley, though, still have it. Long with the touch to the inside right, and Brownhill. Further wide is Anthony. Blackburn have got everybody in blue and white behind the ball. Burnley in the claret and sky blue shirts have possession on the centre circle, the halfway line with Esteve. Brownhill, the top scorer, feeds the man in field, Roberts. Roberts was caught by Cantwell. Play continues. Referee, I think, did spot that. Long line of Blackburn players, though, between Burnley and the goal. Sarmiento 30 yards out. Lovely ball to spread to the right. Anthony takes a possession, puts in a low pass, nothing behind it, rather tame. Steered up into the air by Danny Bart. Burnley have it again with Egan Riley. Good spell this of possession for the visitors. Second in the Championship, Burnley. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0. Esteve, lip of the centre circle. Burnley playing from right to left, and all the play at the moment is in the Blackburn half. Jayden Anthony poking it back to Connor Roberts, and Burnley know they're going to have to play a very patient game here. Blackburn are looking very well organised and compact off the ball.
Yeah, they're balanced, aren't they? I think they all know the job without the ball. They're all behind it in their own half, making it very difficult for Burnley to play. But then when Burnley are playing out from their defensive third, it's a high defensive line, very aggressive front three, front four, really making it difficult for Burnley to play forward. When they had that opportunity to play Jadon Anthony, that was the greatest, that's the only outlet. He has to take Owen Beck on. It's a 1v1 scenario. He has to get at him, he has to have that quality and bravery to take his man on and then create something off the back of it.
Egan Riley with another elegant crossfield ball, this time swinging from right to left to the near side. It's cushioned the header infield by Humphreys to find Laurent, who played a neat 1-2 with Sarmiento, who now crosses. Good robust challenge by Callum Britton to block the cross. They must have had 20-30 passes, Burnley, in that long spell of possession, and there's no outlet upfield for Blackburn Rovers at the moment as they thump it clear to halfway. Burnley have it back, and Burnley, with 20 minutes gone, starting to find their groove.
Yeah, it's so important there. I think you're spending a few minutes without the ball there. Lewis Baker has an opportunity that he can find Cozier Drewbury, but I think it has to be to feet. He's trying to play it in behind. It's a poor pass, and then all of a sudden now you're without the ball again.
Notts County 1, Swindon 0, a latest score in League 2. Notts County will go third in League 2 into the automatic promotion places with a victory today. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0 it remains. Quite tense now, the atmosphere here, live on Talksport 2, with Manchester City against West Ham, an intriguing game in the Premier League to come live with us at 3 o'clock. Another long diagonal ball by Egan Riley, picks out Anthony with ease, and Becker's got a problem at the moment, but he's won it back, the Blackburn left back, and he'll stride forward towards halfway, and he steered it square, but it's intercepted by Fleming, retreating to win it back again for Burnley. Burnley without that obvious number 9 on the pitch today, as Chris was saying. Rodriguez, Ashley Barnes and Lyle Foster all on the bench, and I think that has showed so far, Chris.
Well, talk to me when Jadon Anthony gets the ball, or Sarmiento or Bashi Humphreys gets the ball on this left-hand side.
They want to cross it instinctively,
they want a target. And this is what Ashley Barnes, I feel, does probably a little bit better than G. Rodriguez, albeit he has a threat in the box as well, and understand why he's been brought into the club for until the end of the season, Ashley Barnes. But they need an out and out. And this is why I don't understand. I don't know if there's money there to invest, but an Adebayo would be. He does everything. He's mobile, he's aggressive, he has a good touch, he can run in behind as well as go and win those aerial duels, bring other players into play. It's definitely got to be on a target to bring in a player of that ilk.
Here is Humphreys on the near side, and robbed the possession by Dolan, who got a firm but fair challenge in. Applause from the Blackburn fans. This throw for Burnley will be very close to the dugouts, and Scott Parker is very quick to get Burnley back into possession. He wants them to move the ball maybe a little more pacily than they have done so far, and Burnley actually, with the throw, goes straight back to Egan Riley, who's been the basis for the start of all their attacks. It's another high ball, and it's careered crossfield right to left, and it's again a very well angled pass and very well placed from Egan Riley. It had to travel 40-50 yards on the diagonal, and this time it was just a miscontrol by Humphreys straight out of play. It's
an excellent ball, isn't it? I think Bashir Humphreys, you can see by his reaction, even the reaction of Egan Riley, I think has to be better. When you're looking at Scott Parker running and getting the ball, that in itself puts a message on to the players. We're having a little bit of joy, albeit the quality in that attacking third needs to be raised.
And Burnley imposing themselves on the game now. They win a free kick, a yard or so in field, midway into Blackburn territory. Halfway through the first half on Talksport 2, Blackburn 0, Burnley 0. Burnley with this great record against Blackburn, who haven't won against Burnley since March 2010. That was in the Premier League at Turf Moor. The last home win for Blackburn against Burnley did come in that same season, October 2009. 3-2 they won here at Ewood. Pascal Chimbonda, remember him, scored the winner that day for Blackburn Rovers. Newcastle 1-1 away at Tottenham in the Premier League, live on Talksport right now. It's goalless on Talksport 2 in the East Lancashire derby. Anthony and Brownhill are standing over this free kick for Burnley. Quite a high defensive line for Blackburn here. Anthony pumps the free kick deep to the back post, floated header back across by Laurent, headed away by Lewis Baker. It'll drop down towards Brownhill, hooked back over the top by Esteve. Up goes Egan Riley, punched away by the goalkeeper pairs, and thundered high downfield by Cozier Drewbury as Blackburn get it away. Neither goalkeeper's had a save to make just yet.
Yeah, I think Ainsley Pear's done the right thing there, made the decision very, very early, come out, punched, had to make the contact, had two Burnley players closest to him there. But he has got a mistake in him. I thought he was poor.
I think he might have hurt himself, Chris.
Well,
he's limping up a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, just that. I think the right leg, isn't it? But he's strong. He knew he was going to take a hit, but he got the contact with his right hand. So no, good goalkeeping there.
That's the voice of the former Burnley striker Chris Iwelumo, who also played for Stoke, Watford, Colchester, former Scotland international. Chris, here is Brownhill, about 5 yards infield from the Burnley right, and he wins a throw off the retreating Mario Cozier-Dubry, who is on loan from Brighton, started his career at Arsenal. As it stands, Burnley will be 2 points off the Championship leaders Leeds, who are away at Hull later. Sheffield United, who started the day level on points with Burnley, so Burnley would be a point ahead of Sheffield United, but they would have played a game more. Chris Wilder's team travel to Watford today in the Championship. Never easy going to Vicarage Road. Watford under Tom Cleverley. Here come Burnley with Brownhill. Early ball flicked on by Fleming into the penalty area. Chasing was Laurent. Out quickly off his line was Ainsley Pears. Spread himself at the feet of Laurent and was there to claim it relatively easily. Still 0-0.
Yeah, I think Fleming has to make the ball stick there. It wasn't a one-touch layoff there. I don't think Laurent was expecting it either. Even there, you make the ball stick, Laurent can come across the face of Fleming and possibly get the shot. But like you say, using the ball, that midfielder, winning that battle, Burnley in the midfield, something that John Eustace will be a little bit concerned about.
Standing with his arms folded on the edge of the technical area at the moment, John Eustace. Blackburn have possession with Tronstadt, and he feeds Cantwell, who's dropped into a deeper lying position now, midway inside his own half of the field. Forward by Hyam down the near side, trying to thread it, a low pass right along the touchline towards where Callum Britton was standing, but Jeremy Sarmiento was able to just smuggle it out of play. We've got live Premiership rugby for you later this evening on Talksport 2, 5:30, Saracens against Bristol Bears. After bringing you the darts, which was live on Talksport, the final in the end last night at Ali Pali, amazing drama. Here is Dolan for Blackburn crossing. We haven't quite had the drama yet in the East Lancashire derby today, but certainly the passion is reverberating to the stands and full commitment on the pitch. Game a few chances, 0-0, Chris.
No, yeah, the commitment's there, challenges, the energy, just that a little bit of quality, I think, for both in the attacking third has to be lifted a little bit.
Well, here comes the Blackburn corner. It'll be number 4 of the game so far for them.
He's been good, Tyrese Dolan, really impressed with it, the start that he's had, seen a lot of the ball, keeping hold of it, getting at his opposition, pulling them out, and then his distribution, releasing the ball at the right time as well. That one opportunity for him to get across the face of his defender from the Cozier-Dubry cross.
Corner's taken short, and Cantwell will nudge the ball backwards to the corner of the penalty area. Owen Beck with a deep reverse ball, high left-footed. That's easier to clear than attack. And as if to illustrate the point, Hyam has headed it behind. The flag was up again anyway. Strange decision to take the corner short again for Blackburn, because that ball was really lofted in, wasn't it? It was a looping ball, not flat, so much easier to defend that, Chris, and it is a goal kick to Burnley. Yeah,
but I think when Blackburn, they have to learn, if they're going to take the short corner, the defensive line of Burnley will step up. They've got that discipline. So like you said, I think Beck has to just put a little bit more pace on it, maybe towards goal. Just make sure you beat the first man, like a cross shot. With so many bodies running across the face of Trafford, makes it very difficult for the goalkeeper.
Maktar Gay has given it away. Burnley have it back on the lip of the centre circle with Cullen back to the halfway line, and Roberts. We know that Josh Cullen is a regular mainstay in this Burnley team, the former West Ham United midfielder. Well won back with industry by Dolan, just shy of the halfway line for Blackburn. Baker shrugs aside the challenge of Sarmiento. Good composure to lay it wide to the right, and Britton back into his own half, where Danny Bart is waiting.
Well, you see John Eustace, he's talking to that front three, Dolan, Cantwell, Maktar Gay as well, just making sure he's pulling them, he's telling them where to stand, as the game's going on.
Good ball, Cantwell down the right, and Callum Britton thinks that took a deflection on its way through. He's pointing at the assistant referee, who then signals that it is a corner kick. He initially said goal kick, then the referee helped him out. The assistant changes his mind. Britton was certain that got a touch, because the ball forward from Cantwell, he probably could have got there in front of the Burnley fans. In the end, he let it trickle out of play. Fifth corner for Blackburn Rovers.
Well, you have to let the linesman off with that one, for the fact that he's looking across the line. He's running.
So he won't have seen the touch,
so
right?
The referee's spot on there. He can see it all, and you can see by the reaction of Britton as well. He probably could have got there and probably kept it in at a real push. So no, it was fantastic officiating from the referee.
Hyam again standing right on the goal line, the Blackburn centre half. Danny Bart has gone to the back post and the referee has seen something he's not happy with. Hyam, and I think that's Cullen, isn't it, Chris, that he's standing with right in front of James Trafford, and there's a word from both, for both, from the referee, Andy Kitchen. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0. Half an hour gone exactly here on Talksport 2. Corner to Blackburn at the Darwin end. Only Beck standing over this one. He's going to whip it in, left-footed and in swinging into the 6-yard box, deep to the back post, and there's a foul. Almost so predictable there, that really, after the talking to from the referee, and I think it is Hyam who's been penalised after all of that. Burnley get a free kick. And you have to say, Chris, fine margins in this kind of situation against a great Burnley defence in a derby game. Do you think John Eustace will be so disappointed that they haven't even threatened once from any of these corners?
No, I don't think he'll be disappointed. I think there's an understanding that it's Burnley coming to town. You know, they're very, very... Oh, it's a strong challenge.
Poor challenge by Bart. Burnley play on. Brownhill inside right, tries to cross. Beck blocks it. It'll be a throw to Burnley. And what's the card going to be for Danny Bart? It is a yellow card. Retrospective booking given, I think, rightly by the referee in a Burnley throw down by the corner flag.
Yeah, again, fantastic officiating, isn't it? Just playing on there, understanding the strength of the challenge from Danny Bart. But there could have been progress. But no, I don't think John Eustace will be concerned too much. He'll understand that Burnley are going to have a lot of the ball, but it's what they do, and I think Blackburn have had their moments. It's just that quality in the final third needs to be improved.
Poor touch from Zian Fleming, and the pressure, albeit from Bart, and it's a goal kick to Blackburn away to our left. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0. Elsewhere in the Championship, Stoke 0, Plymouth 0. Plymouth bottom of the table. Swansea 0, West Brom 0. In League One, Burton bottom 0, Northampton 0. Cambridge second bottom are a goal down at home to struggling Bristol Rovers, as Blackburn try to play the ball out from the back, and eventually they do. Cantwell now midway inside his own half, back to Tronstad. Notts County 1, Swindon 0, Bradford 0, Grimsby 0 in the 1 o'clock kick-off in League 2. Spurs 1, Newcastle 1 in the Premier League, live right now over on Talksport. Connor Roberts for Burnley, can't bring the ball down, led with the edge of the 18-yard area. Blackburn have it with Kozia Dubry, who nearly got his legs in a tangle, and the ball ricocheted last off Roberts, and that'll be a Blackburn throw on the far side, the river side of the ground, in their left-back position, and Beck will take it. Great to see this quite grand old ground full. Seen a lot Ewood Park over the years, of course. Biggest home crowd expected today since May 2018, so 6.5 years or so, when Blackburn beat Oxford in their League One promotion winning season. Egan Riley to the right back position, and Roberts, and the boos raining down from the stands from the Blackburn supporters when Burnley have the ball. Burnley now with Egan Riley. Back to goalkeeper Trafford, and a little 1-2 between the pair. I think the frustration for Burnley so far will be they haven't created anything. Thunderous long ball downfield by Egan Riley. Out comes the goalkeeper pairs, cleared away on the half volley. Not an easy clearance, and he did well with it. Up to the halfway line. We've seen goalkeepers rush out in that sort of position and completely miss the ball before. Pears didn't. Forward by Baker down the middle for Blackburn. Over hits, and Egan Riley was sliding, and I think he was worried that Gay was closer to it than he actually was. Maktar Gay nowhere near that long raking ball. It was over hit, and it's through to Trafford again. Still waiting for, really, I'd say the first half chance, Chris Uwelamo?
Yeah, I think it's just the quality, isn't it? You know, as small margins, it has been contested and been very competitive. But the likes of Lewis Baker there under no pressure. You know, he's running into the Burnley half. I don't think that's the ball in behind. You know, your margin for error there is very, very small. Has to be into feet with quality. Punch it into the likes of Maktar Gay, a Todd Cantwell that's finding a lot of space, but he's not receiving the ball.
Roberts has been caught by Beck, 10 yards shy of the halfway line. It was a simple late challenge from Beck, and I think, judging by how the referee's officiated so far, and I think he's done it very well, it will just be a talking to, and it is. I think this is an example from the referee in how to take some of that unnecessary sting out of a derby game. You love full-blooded challenges flying in, but the challenge from Baker on Sarmiento aside, which he didn't really see the referee,
yep.
I think he's done a good job.
No, I've got to agree with you. I think he's just been spot on, and you're right. You want the game to be competitive. You want the challenges to go in fair but strong, but then have a word. You know, if the yellow card's coming out straight away, the player becomes a little bit tentative. They've got to kind of manage the game and get themselves through it. So I think he's been outstanding.
And Scott Parker was saying much the same before the game, all about Burnley players keeping their heads amid what can be such a feverish atmosphere. Throw by Humphreys down the middle, a clever flick by Fleming into the path of Laurent, and he's wriggled away from Tronstadt, and he set up Sarmiento, who was blocked off on the edge of the Blackburn penalty area. 10 minutes of the first half to go, 0-0. And Blackburn have it with Britton now, near side the right. He plays it backwards to Hyam in front of the Blackburn end where the home fans are. It's cleared downfield by Hyam only as far as Cullen. Burnley now with Sarmiento trying to turn, and it's congested again, this time Tronstadt in the way. The lively Dolan scampers beyond 2 or 3 claret and blue shirts, wins a free kick just shy of halfway. And now I do wonder whether the referee might want to look at it again. He's not going to, that challenge from Cullen.
Should be a yellow card. Should be a yellow card for the fact that he's had that talk with Cullen on the challenge on Cantwell. You know, it was a strong one. Dolan was going places there as well. There was 4 Burnley players around him. Great little bit of quality, Tyrese Dolan. Trickery, gets through the middle of them. For me, the referee's got that one wrong as much as we've praised them.
Yep. I'm with you on that, Chris. I think that had to be a booking, given what we've seen so far. Burnley fans on their feet. Massed ranks of travelling supporters away to the right. It's a nice short journey, of course. Only 11 miles between the two clubs and the East Lancashire Hills. Beck in possession, left back position for Blackburn, and now Bart midway inside his own half of the field. Bart pumps the ball down the middle. It's cleared away by Esteve, only as far as Baker on the halfway line. Baker with a lovely floated ball on the half volley out to the left hand side, and Cozier Dubry, who drives in field, and he's accelerating into the area. Cozier Dubry with a low shot wide of goal, and there was a deflection on it. It'll be another corner for Blackburn. A rare moment of attacking promise in the game so far.
Yeah, what a ball that is, Lewis Baker. Just the technique was outstanding. And it is a corner. Just seen it on the monitor as well. The shot was always going wide anyway. I thought Cozier Dubry had done ever so well. As soon as he's come into the 18-yard box, and I think you've got to go for the far corner, put a little bit of pace, a little bit of whip on it, try and bend it round the defender. But he's trying to catch James Trafford out by going near post with pace.
It's a corner whipped in by Cantwell into that near post, headed away by Bashir Humphreys. And now Blackburn have it with Beck, who hooks the ball over his shoulder down the left-hand side, and it's thundered away by Jadon Anthony downfield. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0, Stoke 0, Plymouth 0 in the Championship this lunchtime, and what is Mark Robins' first game in charge of Stoke City. Swansea 0, West Brom 0 is also a latest score. Tottenham 1, Newcastle 1 in the Premier League, live over on Talksport. If you want to be across all of the action, just download the Talksport app. It's free and easy to download. You can swipe between both stations at your leisure. We've got the Carabao Cup semi-finals next week, FA Cup third round and more. Here is Sarmiento tearing over the halfway line for Burnley. He's got Fleming to his left. Fleming steers the ball in field. Great ball square to Brownhill. Brownhill edge of the D. Back flick to Fleming towards Sarmiento, edge of the penalty area. Fleming again, right edge of the box. Now he sets up Roberts. Steers it back in field, and Cullen was slow to react. Maktar Gay wins it back for Blackburn. That Burnley attack comes to an end, and Gay has run 20-30 yards downfield. He slips it towards Cantwell, and Cantwell's run wasn't well timed. The pass wasn't great either, and it's through to James Trafford.
He didn't do enough, did he? Gay there, Maktar Gay, to commit the player. You know, I think the run from Cantwell wasn't too bad, but it's all about when he releases the ball. It was a poor one as well. He just didn't have the legs to get away from the likes of Connor Roberts or Egan Riley there.
Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2 in the Premier League. Newcastle have turned it around. They've come from behind to lead. Yet another goal for Alexander Isak, who just cannot stop scoring at the moment. Here is Egan Riley for Burnley on, well, let's just say a chilly afternoon at Ewood Park. I've settled in okay, though, I promise. The problem is not having the gloves. That was a schoolboy error, I'm afraid.
I've got two on. Do you want...
Here is Roberts in the right back position. Chris Iwelumo alongside me in the commentary box. He's got about 7 layers on. Now Cullen to the left of Esteve on the halfway line. I wonder what's going to break the stalemate here. Both teams are very well organised off the ball. Laurent down the middle, lovely flick by Sarmiento into the path of Fleming. Fleming trying to bring it down. He didn't really race onto that flick on from Sarmiento with any great conviction. Almost looked afraid of the big Blackburn centre-halves converging upon him. And in the end, Blackburn win a free kick midway inside their own half.
Well, I thought the timing of your question was going to be spot on there. Fleming, wrong decision. It has to go out to Bashir Humphreys. I don't know why he's knocked it round the other side of Hyam there. You know, it was a great little flick from Sarmiento. It's another strong challenge, isn't it?
There will be a yellow card now for Josh Laurent for the trip on Cantwell. The second bookie of the game so far, and this time the referee can wait no longer.
I think that's his first challenge as well, Josh Laurent. You know, I think so. It's a bit, you've got to think about it. You know, you want consistency there, albeit persistent fouling from a team. The referee has to kind of nail it down. But I think Cullen, if that's his moment to set that precedent.
Yep. It wasn't a great challenge from behind.
It wasn't a great challenge. And in fairness to Cantwell, I think they've rotated very well. He drops very deep. That allows the likes of Lewis Baker or Tronstad to kind of get a little bit more advanced. But they're rotating that one very well.
A long ball over the top from Hyam, evades Dolan. And Dolan is the smallest player on the pitch, just about. Is never going to beat Bashir Humphreys in the air.
Well, I think Callum Britton should know that. You know, I think that's where it has to be fired into the feet, or you got to be brave and play the likes of a Tronstad, a Baker, a Cantwell, but more centrally as well, rather than playing a fight ball. Dolan against Esteve, come on.
Well, they don't have loads of options, Blackburn, at the moment. They do have one or two key players out due to injury. Blackburn trying to win it back on the far side there, left through Kozia Dubry. Can't do that. It is still 0-0 in the 42nd minute here on Talksport 2. The ball is back with Roberts, just shy of the halfway line now. Notts County 2, Swindon 0 is the latest score in League 2 this lunchtime. So Notts County heading into the automatic promotion places in League 2 today. Good interception by Tronstad, the Blackburn captain, on halfway. Dolan has poked it wide to Britton, and then he was caught late by Sarmiento on the follow-through. It was a 50-50 ball that Sarmiento was entitled to go for, but he was late with the challenge. A free kick on the halfway line. It has certainly had some of the ingredients of a derby encounter with 42 minutes gone. No lack of aggression from both teams, albeit for the most part I think it's been pretty controlled aggression. Anthony wins the ball back meanwhile in the right wing position off Beck, who was slow to react. Anthony charges forward edge of the penalty area, can't find the on-running Josh Laurent, who is just to the left of it. Blackburn clear, and now there's space for Cantwell to find Dolan near side of the field, just over halfway, and it'll be one-on-one with Humphreys here. Gay, the obvious target in the middle. Now Cantwell, Bart is at the back post as well. Cantwell hooks it in, headed away, drops to Kozia Dubry, who fizzes a left-footed effort wide. Worth a go, did take a deflection, says the referee, and a corner's been given.
Yeah, excellent from Blackburn. I've got to say, the reaction from Owen Beck to go and put pressure on Jayden Anthony, lose the ball and then driving forward. Cantwell gets it, excellent ball out to Tyrese Dolan, gets back off again in that space. He's just got to beat the first man. It's a great little ball from Cantwell, a little bit more on the cross itself. It causes all sorts of problems, but Kozia Dubry there to pick up the second ball and get the shot away. So John Eustace will be happy with that build up of play, but just the final little bit of quality again. Kozia Dubry has to hit the target there, albeit a little deflection.
And so a seventh first half corner for Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0. Lots of movement in the stands now as fans head to the concourse areas ahead of half time. 2 minutes of normal time remaining. Whipped in by Cantwell. Here comes Trafford, punches it up into the air. The goalkeeper not entirely convincing. Baker tried to hit it on the volley. He was charged down quickly by Brownhill. Now here is Britton, midway inside opposition territory. Square to Hyam, who hooks it over the top. Gay is jumping with a looping flicked header from a long way out, and that's going to drift harmlessly wide.
Look, it's a good corner. It's right on the money is there. But for me, James Trafford has to do better. He comes out, okay, he gets the punch, gets to the edge of the box, the clearance itself, but I think with his presence, can he come out? I know he's running through a lot of bodies there, Joe, but he's come out without any contact with his own player or opposition player there, and got an okay punch. But that's where the keeper claims it with two hands and he can start the attack himself. Makes a massive difference in a game like this.
I think some of the Burnley fans were making that point, Chris Wellerman. There was just a look from Trafford to some of the Burnley fans behind the goal as he went to collect the ball for the goal kick.
You've got to understand there's probably 20 bodies in front of him in very close proximity as well. He has to make that decision as soon as he reads the flight of the ball. Am I punching or am I catching?
And in the end, Burnley did enough to get it away. Last minute of normal time at the end of the first half. Sarmiento driving in field from the left. He's used the outside of his foot to play it back to the halfway line now, and Cullen. You might remember Sarmiento scoring some very important goals for Ipswich in their promotion campaign last season when he was on loan from Brighton there. Thumped downfield by Egan Riley. This time it's high and over the top. It's up to the midway point of the Blackburn half. Headed away by Dom Hyam for Blackburn. And now Kozia Dubry feeds Tronstad out to the left, and Owen Beck in the full-back position. Kozia Dubry's looked quite lively as the first half has gone on. It's a flighted ball over the top, cleverly headed down by Gay, cushions the header back into the feet of Dolan. Good football from Blackburn. Gay calling for it in the middle. He's the only man inside the penalty area as we go into a minute of added time at the end of the first half. Still goalless. Dolan, the number 10. Early ball up the inside left. Here is Lewis Baker's across. Could reach Gay at the back post, and it's cleared away. Thumped up into the air by Fleming. Good football from Blackburn for the first time there in the game, really. Burnley looked like they were caught out defensively by that clever late run on the underlap from Baker.
Yeah, fantastic run, excellent ball as well. And all Baker went, there was a lot of bodies, he had to put a little bit of pace on it, but then you're looking for a run to make the mind up, to make Baker make his decision, you know, so there was no movement, so he's just fired it, and Burnley got the clearance in the end.
About 20 seconds of first half added time to go. Scott Parker and John Eustace, both either side of the halfway line, both ready, I think, for the whistle, as Cantwell is caught by Josh Laurent, who has been booked. Cantwell looks to the referee, arms outstretched. It's a clumsy foul rather than a particularly bad one. Free kick taken, and that is half-time. A very even first half in the East Lancashire derby. Certainly the passion has radiated down from the stands, and the two sets of players have given it their full commitment without necessarily providing a great deal of quality. These are not two of the highest scorers in the Championship, and the lack of clear-cut chances probably tells us exactly why. Mario Kozia Dubry with a couple of deflected efforts wide of goal for Blackburn Rovers, but in all truth, neither goalkeeper has been seriously tested as yet. The one point of contention from a Burnley perspective might be that challenge from Lewis Baker on Sarmiento early on in the game that went unpunished. Half-time on Talksport 2, Blackburn 0, Burnley 0.
Yeah, that probably was the most contentious part of the game, Chris Owellamo. I was very, very surprised not to at least see a yellow card for Lewis Baker, but I thought it was red. Studs down the back of his Achilles in the opening 5 minutes.
Yep.
Do you think because it was the opening 5 minutes, the referee was lenient and perhaps too lenient?
I just don't think he's seen the extent of the contact. I think he knew it was a free kick. He did have a word with Baker, but I think if you actually see it, and it was a real naughty one, knew exactly what he was doing. Sarmiento had got the wrong end of him. The ball was already released. He was nowhere near it. Because really, it's a sore one as well. You know, like you say, Faye, if there is VAR, that the referee goes to the screen and he's got a decision to make if he just gives him a straight red. Or yeah, but it was a strong challenge. You don't want to really see it, and Baker has that. You know, you need to have a little bit of aggression and competitive. And there's question marks over Mac Targay, Lewis Baker, you know, Tronstad on occasion as well. Danny Bart's already on a yellow card, so it's important. And John Eustace will be saying that we need all players out there. You have to be thoughtful of it and very mindful of the challenges you're putting in. Albeit, I think the referee has been outstanding.
Yeah, I think he's been really good as well. But you can tell it's a derby. It's been feisty since the first whistle, hasn't it?
Yeah.
A couple of chances. Well, very few and far between, to be honest. No shots on target for either side, but the best chances probably for Blackburn Rovers have come from corner kicks that they've just not capitalised on. Is that because the delivery's not quite been right, or the defence has been good from a Burnley perspective?
Well, you know, I think they're taking a few short corners, trying to kind of mix up the angle and putting the ball right in the mix there. But Burnley, they defend, they step up at the right moments in time. It's usually a Burnley contact. James Trafford has made the right decisions, you know, and I think Kozia Dubry put in a fantastic cross. And I've got to say, for me, if I'm a striker in the box, I know the quality of my wide men and my fullbacks. I know what they've got, and I would have made more of an effort. I think Mac Targay should have worked his feet. I think Tyrese Dolan, if he got across the front of Bashir Humphries there, he's getting an opportunity to go. And you've got to know your wide men. You've got to know what they've got. and it was a fantastic crossfit, and I think that was a fantastic opportunity.
Yeah, it certainly was. Look, they've been few and far between the fantastic opportunities, but actually across the board in the Championship the chances have been few and far between. Goalless in every game at half-time in the Championship. Stoke 0, Plymouth 0, Swansea 0, West Brom 0. Over on Talksport right now, it's Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2, just coming into half-time. In fact, they've just blown the half-time whistle. Dom Solanke opened up the scoring after 4 minutes. Anthony Gordon equalised in controversial circumstances less than 2 minutes later before Alexander Isak put Eddie Howe's side ahead. In case you missed it as well, Spurs have a debutant in goal. Brandon Austin starting with Fraser Forster out ill. Things go from bad to worse for Ange Postecoglou's side. In League One, Burton 0, Northampton 0. Bristol Rovers a goal to the good against Cambridge. Luke Thomas on 26 minutes, giving them some breathing space in the relegation battle. Notts County 2, Swindon 0 in League 2. 2 goals from the veteran David McGoldrick there. And a 1 p.m. kickoff currently between Bradford City and Grimsby. It's goalless there at the moment, but they only kicked off at 1, as I say. At Ewood Park, though, Blackburn 0, Burnley 0. Second half coming next. We'll also preview our exclusive 3 p.m. kickoff here on Talksport 2 as Manchester City host West Ham.
Talksport 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Touchdown! Plus, Talksport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. Talksport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Did you know you can order McDelivery deals, like the Feed the Family deal for just $14.99? That's 4 selected burgers, 2 medium fries and 2 small fries. Who's in then?
Oh yeah, me.
And me. McDelivery. You in? Delivery only from 11 a.m. 4 times selected burgers, 4 times selected fries. Subject to availability. Price, delivery fee and participation may vary.
Is there a Toyota for my plumbing company?
Yeah, of course there is.
And my mobile florist business?
There's a bunch.
Construction?
Mm-hmm.
Fresh fruit grocers?
Yep.
Catering?
Yeah.
Electricians?
Uh-huh.
DIY enthusiasts?
Indeed.
Locksmiths?
Yeah, of course.
Landscaping?
Yeah. Whatever your business, there's a Toyota for that. Search for the new Toyota Pro Ace Electric to find out more.
This January, stream Sky Sports' big weekend on Now, as title contenders Liverpool host bitter rivals Man United, while challengers Arsenal face a tough trip to Brighton. A sensational darts world championship reaches its climax. Another exciting year of PGA golf tees off at the Century from Hawaii, and the weekend begins with big scoring Big Bash cricket from Australia. The January big weekend. Get Sky Sports, available with no contract on Now. 18+, UK only. Broadband 2.5 megabytes per second required.
If you're in the trade, you need workwear that works as hard as you do. Portwest Protective Workwear is designed to provide total protection and maximum comfort for trade and industry specialists. With award-winning product innovations, Portwest only uses world-class stretch or protective fabrics, trims and technologies, meaning our products are built to last. Portwest's design team also ensures that the products look as good as they perform. Portwest. Workwear that works overtime. Find out more at portwest.com.
Looking for a reason to plan your next trip? Well, Premier Inn has over 1 million rooms at £45 a night. So that's 1 million reasons to tick wild winter swimming off the bucket list. 1 million reasons to book in for a family visit to the theatre. And 1 million reasons to bond with your team away from the office. Do your thing. Get better sleep for your money. With over 1 million rooms for £45 a night. Book now at premierinn.com. Selected locations. Exclusions and T's and C's apply.
Hawksby and Jacobs on Talksport with Toolstation. Unfiltered football debate. Done right.
Vatican City football team, Pep Swiss Guardiola.
Big hitting cricket comment. Done right.
No,
Ricky Pontiff.
No, yeah, you can't have cricket.
No, you can't have cricket.
Knockout boxing opinion. Done right.
That was a classic.
Legendary.
Entertaining afternoon radio. Done right.
Well, some would say it's absolute limbs.
Hawksby and Jacobs, weekday afternoons from 1 on Talksport with Toolstation. For a job done right.
Gallagher Premiership Rugby, live on Talksport 2.
That has to be a try, and it is.
Tonight from 5, line out for all the fast-paced rock and roll action of the weekend's biggest games. And hear tough tackling rugby union commentary of Saracens versus Bristol Bears.
Down the left-hand side, Elliot Daly for the corner, and he scored this time.
Gallagher Premiership Rugby, live. Saracens versus Bristol Bears. Tonight from 5 on Talksport 2.
The sports machine turns you on to the power of live football.
He fires it at beauty.
EFL Game Day Live on Talksport 2.
Back to Haaland, point blank range, and there he shows what a goal scorer he can be.
2024 closes as it opened with a win. There were times when it didn't look like they were going to get it, and there were times when it didn't look like they deserved it.
Teams are taking it to Manchester City where they never have done before.
The aura's gone.
City were always a team, and have been a team since you've been here, that other people are frightened of. How do you get that aura back again?
No winning games, basically.
West Ham were truly awful. West Ham 0, Liverpool 5.
Just look at the squad at the moment, and I just think that they've made errors, particularly in getting that back four right. The back four is not right. No. It's all over the place.
Okay, today is not the moment to talk about the football idea. Today is to say sorry to the fans and to go tomorrow to work hard and to look forward.
Tough times for West Ham United at the moment. This is EFL Game Day Live on Talksport 2. Faye Carruthers with you this afternoon for a bumper day of football. Second half of Blackburn Burnley coming up shortly. It's goalless currently at Ewood Park. But first, let's look ahead to our exclusive Premier League offering at 3 p.m. up at the Etihad Stadium as West Ham travel to Manchester City. Say a very good afternoon to Ian Danter and Perry Groves. How are you both?
Happy New Year, Faye.
Happy New Year, Faye.
Happy New Year to you. I was debating with Chris Owellamo earlier on whether or not you can still say Happy New Year on the 4th. I think you can.
Yeah, 15th is your cut-off.
Oh, wow.
Really, I've gone halfway through.
Yeah,
right,
halfway through. That's my...
Is that official? Is that on Wikipedia?
No, that's just my opinion. That's probably completely wrong.
And then would you go into a Happy Valentine's from then, is it?
Yeah.
Have you made it straight up from the darts, Dance?
I have, yes.
Wow, what a night last night for Luke Littler.
Oh, amazing. A performance that will, stir the blood for a long time to come. Absolutely magnificent. And who knows what it's the start of for him, But Van Gerwen will be back. That you can be sure of. I'm
sure he will. Darts on the radio, always absolutely fantastic.
Oh, bless
As
you.
is Premier League on the radio, of course. And you are multi-talented, Mr. Danter. Very much looking forward to this one. Look, we were talking about the downturn in fortunes for Manchester City and the upturn in fortunes for West Ham, but then comes New Year's Day and all things change again. But West Ham really struggling at the minute. The biggest blow for them, Jared Bowen's set to be out for 6 to 8 weeks with a fractured foot. Where are the goals going to come from?
Well, Fulkrug has got to step up, hasn't he, Perry?
Literally. He's got to run up, basically, rather than step up, isn't he? He's got to be a bit more mobile than what he has been. So, he said Jared Bowen is their main goal threat. He's been involved in 16 away Premier League goals since the start of last season. That's double of any other West Ham teammate. So it just shows you, Faye, how much they rely on him. And West Ham haven't had a clean sheet against Man City in the last 24 Premier League games. So we're going to get entertainment. We're not going to say you're guaranteed goals, because we don't do that anymore, do we?
We don't.
It's going to be entertaining. Yes.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, they're going to hope there's not as many goals that they suffered against them against Liverpool for West Ham. 5 they conceded that day, but still some problems. It's not all rosy again at the Etihad for Pep Guardiola. They've still got a few absentees that are causing them problems, but they've finally arrested that slump with a win.
Yeah, sorry, good Dance.
No, they have, and Diaz is still missing. Ederson is still missing.
Stones
is still unavailable. So there are some crucial players defensively who aren't around. But how much of a test will those defenders get from West Ham today, considering that Bowen is absent? So I'm more interested in how creative City are going forward with Savinho, Kevin De Bruyne, and Haaland, of course, having got back on the goal scoring trail last week. Will that just light the fuse and off he goes again for the second half of the season? He scored a hat-trick at West Ham in August, let's not forget.
So that was happening a lot, Faye, wasn't it, when Man City, they've only won 2 of the last 14 games, all competitions. Obviously they won away against Leicester, but they still get overrun in midfield. That's what happens. Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva played centrally against Leicester, but if you looked at the game, Leicester still had 3 or 4 big chances. Jamie Vardy had a couple of chances another day he might have taken. So I think what it is I think it's not a lack of effort, but they've definitely lost their intensity. When they're closing down, they're probably a half a yard to yard off it, so teams then think, we can play through you, and they've lost that air of invincibility, because we've been here, Dan, a couple of times this year, haven't we? Ipswich went 1-0 up, made them angry. Sammy Schmodic scored. We saw Brentford go 1-0 up from their brilliant. It was from the kick-off coach, wasn't it? When Brentford was flying. But you looked at Man City, and they still had the aura on the pitch that we'll be all right. We'll get out of this. And even in the stadium felt we can get out of this because we've been here before. We got good players. That doesn't happen anymore. When Man City go 1-0 down, then there's that tension comes in here at home, and players on the pitch can feel that. You can feel that when you're playing against Man City, and players will think, do you know what? These are a little bit vulnerable here, and that's in the Premier League is ruthless, and they've been found out.
Yep, they have. Just quickly, before the players come out at Ewood Park for second half between Blackburn and Burnley, you heard in the opening package there former West Ham manager Alan Pardew talking about Julen Lopetegui and the fact that they've perhaps not recruited very well defensively this season. That 5-0 defeat to Liverpool shows that. Is his job under threat still?
I guess so. It was supposedly under threat in that game against Wolves, wasn't it? It was El Sakiko they were calling it, weren't they? And Gary O'Neill actually soldiered on before the Ipswich game. I don't know. I mean, when it comes to David Sullivan and sacking managers, Faye, I've got experience of this, and he's loath to pay out managers to pay up the rest of their contract. So it would have to be a spectacular run of bad results for the axe to fall, in my opinion. But Lopetegui's got to do himself a favour and get Fulkrug scoring goals.
Yep, he certainly does. Hopefully starting this afternoon if you're a West Ham fan, that's for sure. Back with you both very, very shortly, but let's go back to Ewood Park. The players are out. We need some goals in this game, that's for sure, and in all of the EFL Championship games this afternoon, all currently goalless at the moment. Burnley looking to cement their place in the automatic promotion places against Blackburn. Let's rejoin your commentary team of Chris Owellamo and Joe Shannon.
Thank you very much indeed, Faye. And the game is just back underway. Blackburn have kicked us off, playing from right to left in the second half in the dark blue and white, and Burnley in the claret and sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks, playing from left to right towards the Darwin end, which is where those 4,000 away fans are. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0, and Burnley back on this ground for the first time since securing the championship title so famously in April 2023 with a 1-0 victory. They'd certainly take a 1-0 victory in terms of the pattern of play so far. We haven't really even had a half chance at goal in what has been a keenly fought and well contested Lancashire derby so far. Burnley have the ball on the halfway line in front of a big crowd at Ewood Park today, a capacity crowd of over 26,000, and Burnley on the halfway line with Josh Laurent as many in the crowd start to retake their seats for the second 45. No changes at the break, though we did speculate whether Burnley might use Ashley Barnes at half-time. He may yet, of course, have his say on Derby Day. As Blackburn smuggle the ball clear up to the halfway line, they have pairs in goal. Britton, Hyam, Bart and Beck on the ball, the left back right now to send it back to his goalkeeper in defence. Tronstadt and Baker in midfield. Cantwell, Dolan and Cozier Dubry in support of Gay. And Burnley also unchanged. Trafford in goal. Roberts, Egan-Riley, Esteve and Humphreys. Cullen, Laurent and Brownhill. Sarmiento and Anthony either side of Zian Fleming up front. To give you the two benches in just a moment as well. Here come Blackburn with Cozier Dubry near side the left. He's taking on the defender Roberts. He's heading for the dead ball line here. Cozier Dubry plays it back to Cantwell to deliver first time. Headed away by Egan-Riley, really stretching for that. Josh Brownhill will try and dribble away with possession, and he nearly has done. Blocked off by Hyam, but there was a foul by Brownhill on Tronstadt. It's a free kick to Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0, and here's the former Claret striker Chris Owellamo.
Yeah, I've got to say, really impressed with Blackburn. out of possession of the ball, being competitive, making sure they're contesting and competing for every second ball. It could have went either way, Brownhill and Tronstadt there. Felt the referee was positioned better than obviously we are, so we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But no, it's been a good start from Blackburn.
As Baker thought about going for goal from 30 yards, the free kick was taken short. Dolan crosses from the right, header away by Maxime Esteve. Remember, they've only conceded 9 goals so far this season in the league, Burnley, and they've won a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. 9 goals conceded, 3 clean sheets in a row. They at last let a goal in on the 21st of December, Burnley, Watford's Quadwo Bar. And indeed, Burnley picked up 7 goalless draws so far this season. You wouldn't be a great deal surprised in terms of the pattern of play so far if it were to end goalless at Ewood today. But of course, we live in hope that the excitement levels will crank up. It's certainly been lively in the stands, and great noise from both sets of supporters, exactly the sort of positive support that you would hope for from a derby game like this. But it really does need to liven up in terms of quality on the pitch, Chris. The commitment is there, but we still are waiting for those clear-cut chances. 0-0.
Yeah, I think the fans have definitely played their part. The atmosphere here is absolutely outstanding. You know, I think the competitiveness and the energy is definitely there. Just the quality needs to be raised a little bit, and that's for both teams. And you know, defensive third, middle third, attacking third. You just need more product, more end product.
Jayden Anthony's hooked the ball into the Blackburn penalty area from the right, but Tronstadt is there to intercept. No great aggression in the forward line for Burnley in the game so far. They have Ashley Barnes on the bench, along with Hladky, the goalkeeper, Worrell, Rodriguez, Egan, Foster, Lucas Pires, Koleosho and young Tommy McDermott. And Blackburn, Toth the goalkeeper, McFadzean, Rankin Costello, Vyman, Hedges, Leonard, Buckley, and the 2 youngsters Litherland and O'Grady Mackin also on the Blackburn Rovers bench. High ball upfield by the Burnley goalkeeper Trafford, and it's going to drop out of play for a throw on the halfway line. We are right behind the 2 dugouts here at Ewood Park. A great bird's eye view from the back of the main stand, and a drop of maybe 50-60 rows of seats down to where Scott Parker, who's got his arms folded, and John Eustace likewise, the 2 head coaches, are standing. Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2, back underway in the Premier League, live on Talksport this lunchtime. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0 here. 5 minutes into the second half on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. We've got Manchester City against West Ham at 3, and Premiership Rugby tonight from 5:30 as Saracens take on the Bristol Bears. Cantwell is fouled, and there's a free kick for Blackburn on the halfway line, and Cantwell growing increasingly frustrated with the referee. He feels that Burnley are being overly physical. Burnley can close the gap, or they can go level on points with the leaders' Leeds, at least temporarily, if they win this lunchtime. And Blackburn looking for the goal that could help take them into the playoff positions. At the moment, they're just outside the top 6, behind West Brom on goal difference. West Brom away at Swansea this lunchtime, and it's still 0-0, as is the game at Stoke. Stoke 0, Plymouth 0 in Mark Robbins' first game in charge.
So the game, it's got very, very scrappy. You know, it's slowed down. It needs a change, doesn't it? You know, I think both managers turning, looking at their bench, players that can influence this. You're looking at Hedges for me for Blackburn. I think he can come on, but then you're probably taking off the 2 best players. You know, Cozy Dubry or Tyrese Dolan. So how can you affect that in the right way? I think, you know, you Scotty Parker, you're looking at an Ashley Barnes or Jay Rodriguez.
Good hold up play by Mac Targay up the inside left channel, and he's somehow smuggled it wide left to Cozy Dubry. He hangs up a high cross towards the back post, headed away by Humphreys. Now Tronstadt for Blackburn, a little chip left to right to the far side, and Britton jinks infield onto the left foot, lovely ball to slip in Cantwell. The flag is up, Gay has tucked it in, but it won't count. The flag went up early, play was allowed to continue, but it is a free kick to Burnley, and it's still 0-0. Much better though for Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah, I'm looking at this on the monitor now, and I've got to say, I tell you, he's onside.
Oh, it's
wow.
A massive moment in the game, that.
Yeah, but the linesman is poor. It's poor because the 18-yard line is there. There's a Burnley player in the box. Cantwell is still outside the box when Britton releases it. You know, I understand he sees Cantwell first, but you look at the lines. It's poor. It's a shocking decision.
Well, new VAR in the Championship, of course, and in many ways I think that's a good thing, as And Dom Hyam sends the ball back to the goalkeeper Pears, who clears upfield, and so it is still 0-0. Maktar Gueye denied what would be a pretty rare goal in a Blackburn shirt, in truth.
But what I will say, I don't know if it was Egan Riley or Esteve, they're not so relaxed when Cantwell fires that ball across. I think they do go and clear that. They don't just allow it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're switched on. So
They saw the flag, didn't they?
Yeah, he saw the flag and stopped.
And so, rarely have we seen a big moment and a big chance in the game so far. Poor ball by Baker upfield. He had two options ahead of him, in particular Britton, who is completely open and in space to his right, hugging the far side touchline, but he gave it straight back to Maxime Esteve, and the ball is in Burnley possession now with CJ Egan Riley, midway inside his own half the field.
Lewis Baker, why pass it at all there, Joe? Why pass it at all? He's got on the wrong side of the midfield. Keep driving, drive the ball. As soon as you then commit one of the defenders from the defensive unit of Burnley, that's when you release Maktar Gueye there.
Well, it's been quite conservative so far. Burnley so well set up off the ball, and maybe Blackburn aware of that. Blackburn aware if they go behind, it'll be so difficult to get back in the match. Here, racing down the left is Laurent, who is then tugged back by the retreating Britton, and that's an obvious yellow card given by the referee for Dom Hyam, who committed the initial foul as Laurent was looking to dart away down the left-hand side. Hyam had hold of him, almost holding his shoulder, and it's another booking for a Blackburn Rovers centre-half. Bart and Hyam have both been yellow carded, and what, we're only 9 minutes into the second half.
I do think that's a yellow card that he had to take. I think Josh Loren there was getting in behind that defensive unit. They had, they had some numbers centrally, Blackburn there, but I think Hyam, I think you have to take one for the team there. Don't allow Burnley that advantage.
Roar from the Burnley fans as they win a throw midway inside the Blackburn half. Lots of Burnley flags behind the goal. A very short trip for the Burnley supporters, the vast majority at least, as Danny Bart pokes the ball out of play, and it's another Burnley throw, this time very close to the corner flag, and they've suddenly gained quite a bit of territory there, Burnley.
You've called it, right? Danny Bart, yellow card. Hyam, yellow card.
Can't make a tackle.
You bring on an Ashley Barnes now, because he is that player. He niggles, he's at you, he doesn't give them a minute, and it's just one lack of concentration. It's the second yellow.
There'll be a long throw into the penalty area from Connor Roberts for Burnley, headed away by Bart at the near post this time. Back out wide to Roberts on the near side again, and he's teed it back to Cullen, who is then bundled over by the clumsy Gueye, tracking back and making an unnecessary foul, because there were two other players in the dark blue and white of Blackburn who were there to deal with Cullen, and Gueye took it upon himself to really charge into the Burnley player, and Burnley have a free kick in a very dangerous area.
Look, Maktar Gueye's putting some pressure on, but as soon as Cullen feels anything, he goes to ground. And it's one of them. So the referee's got to be a little bit savvy with that one as well.
Plenty forward here for Burnley, including Maxime Esteve up from the back, and Egan Riley is there as well. Fleming also lurking just inside the penalty area. Blackburn 0, Burnley 0. Live on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Live and exclusive with us. Jayden Anthony to deliver the free kick. It's a great ball, headed away, and then the Burnley fans were appealing behind the goal for a penalty. The decision has actually gone against them. It's a free kick to Blackburn Rovers, and 0-0 it remains.
Well, it's gone against Fleming there, but I need to see this because I think both players are at it. I tell you what, it's a penalty kick. Wow. The referee, I'm looking
Tug of the shirt on Fleming from Bart, Chris.
I don't understand it. You're on a yellow card. If Fleming's got it on the other side, he is very, very fortunate, Danny Bart there. Very fortunate. Because the referee was positioned. What I will say, does Fleming have a little pull at Danny Bart first, and maybe the referee sees that initially?
I guess
it's the only thing I can think of.
That could be in his mind. Thereafter, if there is any initial contact, it was certainly a foul from the Blackburn man. The Burnley fans spotted it, but nothing given by the referee, and Blackburn will now have a free kick about 15 yards into Burnley territory, and it's that point in the game really where, as you say, Chris, a level of scrappiness really has taken over, and it feels like one goal, and I say this even with about half an hour still to go plus added time, you feel that one goal would probably be enough to win the game today.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll definitely get a reaction. We've seen that Blackburn against Leeds never threatened at all. They conceded that penalty and then straight away go up and score, so they have the ability.
Lewis Baker dinks the free kick high to the right edge of the penalty area. The flick on by Hyam is going to drift wide. Hyam and Bart, that dual threat from set plays, and it was Bart who scored the equaliser away at Leeds on New Year's Day. No win in 4 league matches for Blackburn Rovers. That has seen them drop, as I say, just outside the playoff positions. And Burnley have a goal kick in front of the Ronnie Clayton Blackburn end, which is full today. Both tiers are absolutely full. And meanwhile, on the monitor, hanging above the commentary position, we're looking at that incident between Bart and Fleming again and again, and every time I look at it, Chris, it looks more like a Burnley penalty to me.
Yeah, for me, you know, from the minute the ball's in play, you can see the shot getting dragged off of Fleming there. So, and you can see by his reaction to the referee as well, he knew that he definitely had an argument.
Forward by Egan Riley, high up the inside right channel for Burnley. It's a hopeful ball more than anything. Across comes Bart, who was caught by Brownhill, the assistant referee flagging, and the Blackburn fans, who are all around us in this main stand, are able to applaud that. Scott Parker just leans back to have a quick word with the fourth official. There's the Blackburn crest in a blue and red and green carpet, very close to where Scott Parker is standing. His team frustrated in their attempts so far to move level on points with the Championship leaders Leeds United. Leeds away at Hull at 3 o'clock, and Sheffield United, of course, also in contention, are away at Watford today in another 3 o'clock kickoff in the Championship. Adrian Durham and the team will keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in over on Talksport when we go around the grounds, and likewise here with Ian Danter and Perry Groves on Talksport 2 into our commentary of Manchester City against West Ham United. Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2 it remains. Stoke 0, Plymouth 0, Swansea 0, West Brom 0 in the Championship. In League 1, Burton 0, Northampton 0, Cambridge 0, Bristol Rovers 1, and in League 2, Notts County 2, Swindon 0, Bradford 0, Grimsby 0. Goalless here at Ewood Park. Header infield by Roberts, and a slight miscontrol by Beck, but he had Cozier Dubry helping him out. Burnley have won it back. Anthony will just dink it down the right-hand side, looking for the run of Brownhill, smuggled upfield by Tronstadt for Blackburn Rovers. Had nearly an hour. Fleming, inside right for Burnley, tucks it wide to Anthony, who's hugging the touchline, and he gets the return ball now from Connor Roberts. Anthony's got space to cross. That's a good ball, only half away by Hyam. It's dropped to the back post, dinked in by Bashir Humphreys. Fleming's header! What a header! What a goal for Burnley! Zian Fleming, the right man in the right place at the back post, and the Burnley fans celebrate with unbridled joy and passion behind the goal on Derby Day. Here in East Lancashire, this game means more than any other, and it's Burnley who strike first at Ewood Park. Blackburn 0, Burnley 1.
It's an excellent header, isn't it? You look at the ball that comes in from Bashir Humphreys, Zian Fleming always on the move. He just makes sure that it's going to be a Burnley contact, watching the flight of the ball, and gets himself under it. All the power's in the cross, but hits the roof of the net. I've got Ainsley Pearce doesn't have a chance whatsoever. It all came from a cross from Jayden Anthony, and I think Hyam and Danny Bart, they have to communicate. Danny Bart takes the ball away from Hyam to come in clear, so Bashir Humphreys collects it at the back end of the 18-yard box. It's an excellent cross in. He just wants it more. Fleming, diving header right into the roof of the net. It's an excellent header.
And so how will Blackburn respond? The Millwall loanee Zian Fleming has scored. Somewhat a potentially a controversial inclusion, Zian Fleming, because he's not an orthodox number 9. That was a great flying header after a lovely ball in, and Burnley lead by a goal to 0, and they are heading level on points with the Championship leaders Leeds. Let's get team news from our 3 o'clock kickoff in the Premier League on Talksport 2. Manchester City against West Ham, and here's Ian Danter.
Thanks, Joe. Pretty straightforward for Manchester City, unchanged from the win at Leicester City. 4 changes for West Ham. We knew that Bowen was out injured. Full crew comes in for a rare start. Also, Somerville, Souček and Todibo are recalled by Lopetegui. It's live on Talksport 2 at 3 o'clock. Manchester City against West Ham United.
And here come Burnley again, looking for a second. Sarmiento in the left wing position, cuts in field. He suddenly backheels the ball to Laurent, who dinks it in right-footed, and that's a header away by Danny Bart. And Burnley, clean sheet specialists, winning specialists in the Championship, and they're in front by a goal to 0. They only need 1 goal. Would usually be the mantra for those Burnley supporters who've made this short trip to a ground where they've had so much joy in recent seasons. In fact, remember, Blackburn haven't won a game in this fixture for nearly 15 years. Now it's up to John Eustace to see if he can provoke a response, and you'd have to think, Chris Uwelamo, he'll have to make some changes.
Yeah, and he has. He's got Vyman on the bench, Hedges on the bench. You know, Leonard. You know, there's a few options that he can change, because it did get a little bit scrappy. Dolan and Kozia Dubry went a little bit quiet this second half. So now they have to take necessary risks now to get back into the game, but all that does, it leaves them open at the back end as well.
Fleming for Burnley has threaded the ball out to the left, and Sarmiento, who's driven in field at great pace. 1-0 Burnley lead. That goal coming almost right on the hour mark. Anthony, live with the edge of the penalty area, teases it back to Roberts. Roberts now to the feet of Egan Riley. Scott Parker stands on the edge of his technical area, word in the ear from one of his assistants, who quickly goes back to the dugout. And Burnley now in the position that they love to be. They don't necessarily sit back and hold on to leads, but they are so difficult to break down that when you go a goal behind against Burnley, particularly in the second half, that's almost enough to cost you the match there and then. Blackburn have got to produce something special here, and of course their place in the playoffs at the moment is under threat. They need to win realistically to get into the top six, certainly by the end of the day. Humphreys though for Burnley, over the halfway line, having set up one goal already today. He's got Sarmiento to his left. Sarmiento infield now for Burnley. Steers the ball square to the feet of Cullen. A long way out as he chips the ball crossfield to the right-hand side. Jayden Anthony brings it down. Anthony steers the low ball into the near post. Brownhill turns, tight angle. Back out wide to Anthony again to dink it in. Over the head of Sarmiento. Two Blackburn players went for the same ball. Kozia Dubry then flicks it clear. Gay is nowhere near being able to hold it up. Too slow, too ponderous. And now Laurent darts through the middle. But Blackburn have won it back. And here they come on the counter. 4 against 4. Cantwell over halfway. Gay to the right of him. Maktar Gay can't reach it. Esteve intercepts. Not a good pass by Cantwell. And Gay, at the moment for me, he looks all too predictable. 1-0 Burnley.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, I'm looking at Cantwell there driving. I think he has to take another touch. He has to commit Esteve there. And then when Esteve comes to Cantwell, then he can release Maktar Gay down the right-hand side. There was 5 against 4 in Blackburn's favour there as well. It's a real opportunity.
So 1-0 Burnley lead. Fleming with his back to goal will play it back to Josh Laurent on the halfway line, and he'll get the return ball, does Laurent, from Fleming. Threads the ball down the middle towards Brownhill, and across came Danny Barton. It's through to Ainsley Pears, but suddenly Burnley look a genuine and real attacking threat every time they come forward here, your old club, Chris.
No, every time. No, they're comfortable in possession, Joe. So now they've got the goal lead. They don't have to go and score again. If you said that this is just a passing session now, just keep possession of the ball, Burnley are very comfortable to do that under a high press. And this is the quality. Blackburn have been good without the ball, albeit a little bit scrappy this second half. They have to now take necessary risks. This is when Burnley are at their most dangerous. You know, because they're so comfortable in possession. They've got pace in the side. I've seen the sports scientists run out and have a chat with Koleosho and Perez, saying that they weren't warming up properly, and that was before the goal. So, you know, they've got players that can come on and really influence this game.
And Burnley heading for 7 wins from 8 in East Lancashire derbies. Blackburn have the ball, they're a goal down. 10 yards from the dead ball line is Britton, and he's nutmegged Humphreys, and he's then blocked off. Free kick to Blackburn, very close to the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Britton cleverly nutmegged his opponent, and then Humphreys with a sort of body check, and this free kick as Cantwell throws his gloves down. I think he's sick of wearing them now. Free kick is in a dangerous position here, Chris.
Yeah, Joe, wait and see this. It's excellent quality from Britton. He puts it through the legs of Bashir Humphreys. No, then if he calls a free kick back, it actually goes to a Blackburn player in the 18-yard box. So that's an opportunity for him to play advantage there, albeit the free kick is in a healthy position, isn't it?
Manchester City against West Ham United coming up on Talksport 2 once we're done here at Ewood Park. Spurs 1, Newcastle 2, live right now on Talksport. Now then, Beck is standing over it. The left back, left-footed from a very tight angle out on the Blackburn right to try and fizz in this in-swinging delivery right into the near post, punched away by Trafford. Did well the goalkeeper, decisive, and got a glove on it to nudge the ball clear out of play for a throw. Blackburn will take it through Tronstadt, the captain. Back to halfway in Baker. Still no sign of any changes for Blackburn Rovers. Midway through the second half, they're a goal down. Baker's diagonal pass, it's going to elude Beck, is it? Tangle of legs out on the far side. He tries a clever back heel, and he's done brilliantly to win a corner at the Blackburn end in front of the goal scorer Fleming. And he wants to get across and take it quickly.
Well, look at the monitor, Joe. Look at this. Hands all over each other. He's in the box. Owen Beck's in the box there. I know they're both at it, but Bashir Humphries just grabs the back of his shirt and pulls his arm in the box. It's a silly challenge to make. You know, on another day, the referee sees that, linesman's flag goes up, you can't argue. Penalty kick.
8th corner whipped in by Beck. Again, they go underneath the crossbar. It's only half away. Massive scramble in the 6-yard box, and the goalkeeper Trafford pounces on it. Looked like that could deflect anywhere just for a moment. I thought it was going to run through to Maktar Gay, who is in plenty of space, but the sequence ends with Trafford pouncing on the ball as he looks for yet another clean sheet in the Championship. Burnley looking for yet another win, and Connor Roberts is hurt. Or is he? He's now on his feet with the physio having run on, and suddenly Roberts, out of the blue, leapt to his feet, and they're surrounding the referee. But Roberts is actually completely okay, so why was the physio called on in the first place?
Yeah, well, Connor Roberts was on the ground. They never knew a lot about this, and the ball actually arrives around him. There's about 4 Blackburn players trying to release this ball. I think he backheels it towards his own goal there, Connor Roberts, and then James Trafford gets on it. So I'm sure he received just a couple of kicks there, but this is, yeah, for the physio coming on, that he can only be instructed by the referee.
Swansea 0, West Brom 1, a latest score in the Championship. Chris Brunt doing a good job at interim charge at West Bromwich Albion, and the Swansea head coach Luke Williams was actually linked with the vacant post at West Brom. Doesn't look like he'll be getting that job any time soon. 1-0 West Brom lead. The gap for Blackburn to the playoffs is a place and a point at the moment. They're a point behind Middlesbrough. Trafford's got the ball, the Burnley goalkeeper, and he's just... And now, in a silly moment, Dolan has raced towards Trafford to close him down, and there must have been the brief contact with Egan Riley, the centre half, who then went down really a little too easily. It'll be a free kick to Burnley just inside their penalty area. In fact, yes, it will. It's been given back to the goalkeeper as Dolan just raced forward to try and get Trafford moving again. And then there was a nudge on Egan Riley, who went straight to the ground, and it's all a bit silly now. 1-0 Burnley lead.
Well, what I don't understand is that when the physio goes off the pitch, why did all the Blackburn players leave Trafford? The ball's still in play. He just dropped the ball and walked into the box. You got to be switched on. Force him to kick it.
20 minutes to go. Kozia Dubry clears upfield. Zian Fleming with the only goal of the game so far, and Burnley lead yet again in this fixture by 1-0. Last time they were here, they secured the Championship title with a 1-0 win at Ewood in 2023. And Burnley today under Scott Parker, looking to win promotion to the Premier League for a 3rd time as a manager. And Burnley drawing level on points with Leeds United as it stands. They'd have 52 from 26 games played. So Leeds, Sheffield United and Sunderland would all have games in hand. Sunderland at home to Portsmouth tomorrow in another game live on Talksport 2. Burnley have lost possession. Danny Bart prods it forward to Cantwell just shy of halfway. Cantwell turns away from Cullen, not beyond Brownhill, but he was fouled. Free kick Blackburn on the halfway line, and the home crowd getting increasingly upset with the officials here.
Well, it's excellent play from Cantwell, just inviting that challenge again from Cullen. You know, if you can't come out just for persistent foul, and you can't have an argument there, because he's had a few this second half as well.
Is it going to be another 1-0 to Burnley? Looking for a 17th clean sheet of the Championship season. The way they're going, they will break records defensively in this division.
But that's honestly a thing, Joe. You know, when you're a Blackburn player and Burnley score,
psychologically,
you think, what we're going to do here? We've not really created much. They've kind of nullified that threat, but they have had opportunities, and it's just that final decision, that final pass. You know, that's where the improvement can be made.
Clearance thundered upfield by Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper, who's not been tested at all really in the game, bar a couple of high balls pumped into the penalty area that he's had to punch away. Header by Fleming for Burnley, the goal scorer. What an excellent flying header that was to give Burnley the lead. Here he is again in front of the Darwin end with a shot from range, and that's blocked by Hire. Right in front of the Burnley fans behind the goal. Britton for Blackburn, right back position. Back to Baker. further back to Hyam, and now square to Bart on the edge of his own 18-yard line. Beck from left back, forward to Kozia Dubry. Now Cantwell, he's about 15 yards shy of the halfway line. How Blackburn, you feel, miss someone like Ohashi on a day like today so far? All bit a bit predictable with Gay down the middle.
Yeah, but he's been an outlet. You know, I think that's down to likes of Cantwell, Kozia Dubry, you know, to kind of be around Gay, pick up second balls. Tyrese Dolan's been excellent again on the ball.
Dolan steers the ball to the left and Kozia Dubry, Gay calling for it in the middle. Kozia Dubry dribbles into the penalty area, cuts it back from the tight angle, and now Tronstad with the shot. It nearly trickled through to Gay via a double deflection. Blackburn have their 9th corner as they seek an equaliser against their great rivals. 1-0 Burnley.
Yeah, excellent play. Dolan out wide, Kozia Dubry, it comes inside. Transnet gets the ball. One thing in mind, can he get the shot away? And it's Josh Cullen that goes and gets that. It's a timely challenge, fantastic challenge. Just gets the block in, takes the sting out the shot, but does go out. Now Burnley have to defend this corner.
17 minutes to go, plus added time, and again Blackburn doing their best to really crowd the goalkeeper. Hyam, Baker and Gay are all standing within mere feet of James Trafford, the goalkeeper, and Burnley making their feelings clear to the referee Andy Kitchen. Corner to Blackburn at the Blackburn end. Home fans on their feet. Owen Beck swinging it in, headed away by Fleming. Comes out to Britton on the half volley, and he's having it over the top. And then Trafford swings on the crossbar. Such is his confidence, that was going to fly over. Double change now for Blackburn. Had to be. Andy Vyman and Harry Leonard coming on. Off goes Kozia Dubry first of all. Andy Vyman scored a brilliant goal in this fixture earlier in the season, and it is the front man Gay who also leaves the field. So will that be Vyman down the middle, Chris?
Yeah, I'm looking at that there. Gay's still having an argument with the referee. Get yourself off. You know, Andy Vyman coming on, Leonard coming on, just attacking players now, trying to throw everything at it now. No, it's risk and reward, isn't it now? Now, can they go and generate something and possibly get a goal and take a point out of this game at the risk of leaving a few gaps in behind? That's the dice. The dice has been rolled, hasn't it? So I think that's what I want to see from John Eustace. That's what the players will want to see. They've got the quality that they can go and try and create something in that attacking third. It's been a little bit lacking, albeit the last probably 5 minutes has been Blackburn's best period.
Quarter an hour to go. Blackburn 0, Burnley 1 is the latest score. Burnley heading level on points with the Championship leaders' leads, only behind on goal difference. Tearing up the inside left is Sarmiento. It's cleared away by Britton. Here is Jayden Anthony. Great ball to find him. Right edge of the penalty area. Anthony's shot turned away by Pears through a crowd of bodies. Goalkeeper did well to save that.
Done very well. Took a little deflection. Jayden Anthony's walk came into the 18-yard box.
Now here comes Andy Vyman. Set forward by Cantwell. He's had to check back infield away from Esteve, and he plays it back to the onrushing Beck. Midway inside the Burnley half. Blackburn trailing by a goal to nil. Cantwell looks up. He's got Lennon with the bright orange boots on, waiting for the ball into the middle. Cantwell has retained possession. Back to Tronstad, left side, and a high crossfield ball that loops in the air, drops down onto the right foot of Britton, who took it down brilliantly initially. Bashir Humphreys just got in front of him to smuggle it behind at the expense of a corner. And Britton once more from the Blackburn supporters, playing from right to left in this second half. They're still 1-0 down.
Well, it's real quality from Callum Britton, isn't it? You know, that first touch, taking it round the outside of Bashir Humphreys there, but quality ball from Tronstad, and that's what's needed. It creates those little 1v1 scenarios in the wide areas.
Again, Beck to deliver. Corner number 10 for Blackburn Rovers. Here it comes, left-footed again into the near post, headed away, drops down towards Dolan, in around the penalty spot. Burnley struggling to clear, nodded away by Anthony this time. Good height and distance on it. It's come back out to Cantwell in the left wing position, taking on Sarmiento, digging in the delivery, headed wide at the near post, and Danny Bart flung himself at it, but Lewis Baker got the telling touch, couldn't turn it onto the target. Probably the best chance of the game for Blackburn Rovers so far. Burnley leading 1-0.
Excellent ball from Cantwell, I've got to say. Lewis Baker, he's read the flight of the ball, he's under the pressure. I'm trying to think if it's Esteve that's on him. He gets that glancing touch. I've got to say, Trafford's rooted, isn't he? If he hits the target there, that bottom right hand corner which he was going for, it's the equalising goal.
So off goes Sarmiento, and here comes Lyle Foster, who scored in the reverse fixture back in that nice warm sunny day that we had in August, Chris. It's cloudy and freezing today as Foster comes on.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get from Foster, a willing runner in behind. You know, I think can he be creative? You know, he's not the most prolific, but very selfless, work rate and work ethic for the team.
Tottenham 1, Newcastle 0. Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2. Rather, it remains over on Talksport. Alexander Isak's goal the difference. Live commentary, as I say, continues with them. Here on Talksport 2, we'll be off to the Etihad for Manchester City against West Ham at 3. Premiership Rugby with us tonight from 5:30. And the game day phone-in at the same time on Talksport with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. You can have your say, 03717 223344. Then live football every single day of next week. Yes, Monday to Sunday. We've got the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup semi-final first legs, among others. Blackburn trying to get themselves back in this match, but Burnley have won it through the goal scorer Fleming. Little back heel to the feet of Foster out on the far side the left, and Fleming can't get the return ball played infield by Cullen. Plenty of dark blue and white shirts in the way for Blackburn Rovers. Good hold up play by Harry Leonard on the halfway line, the substitute. He sets up Beck racing down the left hand side. The fullback had a tough job up against both Anthony and Roberts, who has gone down off the field of play holding his leg. So actually the game doesn't necessarily need to be stopped here. Roberts just limped forward momentarily. I think the referee's saying that it is still a throw to Burnley. Connor Roberts, whose name is being sung by the away supporters, will just take his time, wipe down his shirt. 11 minutes to go, Chris. I think he knows what he's doing here.
He knows exactly what he's doing. You know, all the tricks in the tray. That's what he does. He got excellent defending as well, by the way, from Connor Roberts, getting in between the ball and man. Owen Beck there, just inviting. There was a little bit of a contact. He made the most of it, trying to get a free kick.
And eventually Blackburn do win a free kick, but it's on the halfway line. Cambridge 0, Bristol Rovers 2, a latest score in League One. Cambridge heading for 5 defeats in a row. Bristol Rovers heading for their first victory under the new manager Inigo Calderon, formerly of Brighton. Here is Beck, near side the left, over the edge of the 18-yard box. Burnley with everybody back behind the ball. Cantwell fizzes in. He really drilled that in towards the near post, but Trafford with a simple take, the goalkeeper. Very confident, just quickly coming off his line. And Burnley have got, really, Chris Iwelumo, your old club, 10 minutes plus stoppage time to do what they do best, and that is see out victory with a clean sheet.
Yeah, they manage games very well. You know, I think very comfortable in possession, no matter the pressure, no matter the press. I think that's what's needed. You know, there's not too much that needs to change. You know, I think Scott Parker, he's looking at Fleming, and that's what I was thinking. Does an Ashley Barnes come on and just waste time? I think it's going to be a very, very late substitution if he does come on, because Fleming seems to have kind of lifted confidence. He's got his goal, he's nice little touches after that as well, so confidence is high. But this is something, how many times have Burnley been in this position? And they just know how to see the game out.
Almost becomes second nature, doesn't it, Chris?
Everyone knows the responsibilities, Joe.
Bradford 2, Grimsby 0. That's 10th against 9th in League 2. Here is Hyam for Blackburn, trying to surge forward in front of the Riverside stand towards halfway. That small single-tiered stand on the opposite side of the pitch as we look from the back of the Jack Walker side of the ground. Double change for Blackburn coming up shortly. Joe Rankin Costello and John Buckley ready to come on. Here is Beck, infield to Cantwell, just inside Burnley territory. Beck's little flick down the left-hand side. It's going to be smuggled out to play by Roberts, who then got a big shove in the back from Andy Vyman. A bit of frustration, I think, there. Roberts nearly ended up in the advertising hoarding. The referee's gone across to check on Roberts. Meanwhile, here come the Blackburn changes. It's Baker coming off. Big chance he had a few minutes ago. And also coming off is Dolan, Chris.
Yeah, again, just throwing everything at it now. You know, Tyrese Dolan, I felt that he's had a good game. Seen a lot of the ball, but they're just trying to mix it up, not like for like. I think Costello's a little bit more of a energy player, trying to get in behind, you know, a bit more physicality as well there, but just throwing everything at it now. I'm surprised Vyman hasn't received a yellow card for that. I think the referee's getting a little bit sick of Connor Roberts' antics as well.
Well, he really shoved him over, didn't he?
He's given the free kick, Joe, but if he's given the free kick, then he knows exactly what went down, and he has to show the yellow card. 2 hands on the back, and he went 3 metres into the advertising board.
You can understand the Blackburn frustration on Derby Day, but it's Burnley who are looking like they're going to have the bragging rights yet again in East Lancashire, unless Blackburn can do something here. Tronstadt through the middle, from the centre circle, couldn't set up the onrushing Vyman nor Leonard. Egan Riley in the way for Burnley. Burnley have always got somebody back behind the ball to make that important defensive telling touch. Joe Rankin Costello for Blackburn. Inside right, live with the edge of the penalty area. Back out wide to Britton now. Thinks about putting a cross in, teases it back to Tronstadt. Now Buckley, former youth team player at Blackburn Rovers, John Buckley, knows what this fixture means. Beck in the left wing position, the near side. He darts infield. Anthony makes a good tackle, but it's only half away by Brownhill. Fleming has won it back. He sent it left to Foster. Foster can drive forward now. Only Hyam and Bart between him and the goal, and Foster's had to hold it up, waiting for options in claret and sky blue. And eventually Burnley have it now with Roberts. They've slowed the pace of this attack down completely. You can understand that with just 7 minutes plus added time to go. They have that all-important lead, and if anything really, if you want to know about this Burnley team, that passage of play tells you all you need to know. They will not force the issue if they already have the advantage in the game.
No, you're spot on. Like say, all very, very comfortable to go back to Egan Riley there. This is what I don't understand. I think Andy Vyman has to now cheat. He has to stay in that attacking line because they can't allow that outlet. Burnley will just go back and recycle it, Joe.
Anthony plays it back now to Cullen, 25 yards out, right of centre. Good cross towards Fleming, headed away by Hyam for Blackburn. It'll drop down towards the edge of the Rovers penalty area, and Buckley just smashes it clear high up into the air. Manchester City against West Ham live with us on Talksport 2, coming very shortly. There's a foul now by Buckley. It is just turning into one of those afternoons you feel here for Blackburn Rovers. They've certainly competed gamely, there's been no lack of effort, but they don't quite have maybe the quality of their near neighbours.
Yeah, but it's a silly challenge from Buckley. He's only going to give a free kick. He's only going to stop the game again. You know, they've got to get the flow. He's got to make sure he puts pressure on Cullen there, force him back and then press together. That defensive line has to step up if they're going to receive the ball in dangerous areas. At the minute, Vyman's getting the ball in his own half. So what can he do? He's getting it in the middle third, because so someone's got to say, right, Andy, you've got to stretch the pitch for us. You have to be the outlet. Yeah, we've got pace in the team that when it comes, it has to stick. You bring us in, but you give us an outlet and we'll go up and support you. At the minute, Burnley, if it's not on down the right-hand side, Jadon Ante has no... He can just pass it back to the likes of Esteve, Egan Riley, and they start again. There's no pressure. They're completely comfortable here, Burnley. So Blackburn have to force the issue.
The top of the Championship looks like this. Leeds played 25, 52 points. Burnley level on points with Leeds United, having played a game more. Beck with a looping back header to the gloves of his goalkeeper. The goal difference between Burnley and Leeds is a difference of 7. Sheffield United back in third position on 49 points, so 3 points behind the top 2 Sheffield United. But again, they have a game in hand on Burnley, as do Leeds United. Leeds away at Hull at 3 o'clock. Sheffield United travel to Watford. Off goes Tronstadt for Blackburn, gives the armband to Bart, and on comes Ryan Hedges. Well, they had to make an attacking change at this point, Chris, because if they don't, the game will be lost in the next 4.5 minutes plus added time.
Yeah, I just think they can go a little bit more direct now. You know, Ryan Hedges, he really impressed me the other day. He was an outlet against Leeds United. Won a majority, if not all, of his aerial duels, brings other players in. He has that energy in behind as well. But they have to be brave now. This defensive line have to step up. You know, if it's played over the top, then Ainsley Pearce has his bit to do, but they have to really try and force issue. At the minute, Burnley are comfortable in this game.
Burton 0, Northampton 1 is the latest score in League One. Burton bottom of the table with just 2 wins this season. Now then, the referees come across because Cantwell and Cullen were tangling. It was a shove from Cantwell on Cullen, and there's a yellow card for the Burnley man who grabbed the ball and tried to slow the play down. It's a free kick to Blackburn, left wing position, about 5 yards or so infield from the near side touchline. Live on Talksport 2. Bradford 2, Grimsby 1, goal back for Grimsby in League 2, and that second Bristol Rovers goal at Cambridge must have been ruled out, because it's now back to Cambridge 0, Bristol Rovers 1. You're up to date. Can Blackburn get an equaliser here?
This just has to be right on top of Trafford. At goal from Cantwell. a lot of bodies run across the face.
He's going to fizz it in, right-footed, deep to the back post, headed away. Well done, this Steve, who got in mid a crowd of bodies to nudge it clear. Callum Britton, though, goes down the right. He dinks in the delivery, punched away by the goalkeeper. Cantwell leaves it for Vyman. They leave it for each other on the edge of the box. Still alive here for Blackburn. Danny Bart, caught in the penalty area. Back now to Buckley, and he slipped in. Cantwell inside left. Lovely cross by Cantwell. Only half away by Burnley again. Back in by Hedges. Headed away once more, this time by Bashir Humphreys. Little bit of desperation about the defending from Burnley there as they protect their lead. 1-0 in front. Heading level on point through the leaders' leads. Whipped in by Buckley again for Blackburn. Headed away again, this time by Esteb once more. Britton tries to surge up the right. He's going to be shepherded out of play with the ball by Foster, and Burnley determination managing to get the ball away from danger.
Some great quality from Blackburn coming into the box here. Trafford coming out, making his presence felt, getting the contact, but then asked a few questions. You know, a real big opportunity, but you're looking at Cantwell and Vyman. Someone take responsibility and make sure you take the shot on there, Joe. Surely both of them leaving it.
Off goes the would-be match winner, Zian Fleming, and it's yet another defensive change for Burnley. You can understand it. Very experienced John Egan. You might remember he played at Sheffield United, had a really bad bit of luck with injury, missed all of last season virtually. John Egan in a Burnley shirt comes on, and off goes Fleming, who might have just had the winning touch for Burnley today. They're heading for yet another victory. It would be their 14th of the league season so far, and on the River side of the ground, some Blackburn fans are starting to head for the exits. There are 90 seconds left. Blackburn 1-0 down. They haven't had a meaningful effort on target in the game. Burnley barely have, but they've taken that opportunity when it came their way. Dink up the inside left from Brownhill, looking for Foster, smuggled away by Hyam. Burnley throw on the halfway line, and they are going to slow the game down again.
Just look at the body language, Burnley. Everyone knows exactly. Slow down. No one go and present themselves to like Bashir Humphreys with the ball. Look at how long he's taking. This is where someone needs to be in from Blackburn into the referee's ear to make sure the ball's in play.
Well, Burnley have nearly got themselves over the line yet again in this fixture, as Blackburn win a free kick, but it's midway inside their own half the field, and Burnley, everybody retreats back into their own half. And Blackburn will leave it for maybe Hyam to take. In fact, it's Cantwell who is all the way back there to play it square to Buckley. Now in the centre circle is Cantwell. And Blackburn rapidly running out of time, and empty seats starting to appear all around the ground. How much time will they have to find an equaliser, I wonder? Ball over the top looking for Vyman is headed away by CJ Egan-Riley. Manchester City against West Ham in the Premier League coming next for you on Talksport 2 on Lancashire, East Lancashire Derby Day. Burnley are going to be heading home with all 3 points unless something very dramatic happens. Burnley again putting the pressure back on the leaders' leads. 4 added minutes at the end of the game. Just 4 minutes between Blackburn and yet another defeat to their nearest and dearest. Beck down the inside left. Hedges with a low cross, deflected into the near post. Burnley steer it away. There's always a Burnley player in the way when they need there to be. This time it was Josh Laurent. There's a lot of experience on this Burnley team for added time here, Chris Owellamo.
Yeah, they just sit in, they know the responsibilities. Just look at that defensive line now, and then you've got the likes of Josh Laurent who'll just drop in and protect. Cullen protecting the balls into the strikers. Blackburn are going for it now. There's 5-6 in that attacking line now, but they've got to be direct. They have to make it stick. They have to make sure it's a Blackburn contact. Look at I tell you what, he's done well when he's come on. Lyle Foster as well.
Danny Bart's playing up front for Blackburn at the moment, the centre half. 45 seconds through 4 added minutes. Beck with a left-footed cross into the near post. Header away by Egan-Riley. Burnley protecting their 1-0 lead with all they've got. And they've done it so many times before in the Championship this season. Defensive passion, rearguard and quality from Burnley. As Callum Britton delivers the latest cross to the back post, Egan-Riley's going to let it drop over his head and it's going to drift away out of play for a Burnley throw. And in fact, well, that was a silly challenge from Beck. He knew that the ball was going out of play, but it would have been a Burnley throw pinned in their own half, and he's just decided to shove over Anthony for no real reason at all. Is it going to be a throw anyway, though?
Free kick.
Perhaps it is a free kick that's been given. And the Burnley fans in the Darwin end, away to the right-hand side, know that the end is coming shortly. And they'll be able to celebrate yet another victory over Blackburn Rovers. It's a fixture that they've just got a grip on.
That's over a minute wasted down James Trafford, still placing the ball. And it's like there's no one in the referee's ear to say, well, what the timing? Again, a silly one from Owen Beck. Real opportunity, like you say, to just keep Burnley in their own half there, right in the defensive thirds. They have to make sure they win it. Danny Bart, second balls.
Burnley, masters of their craft and clean sheet kings in the Championship. Halfway through added time, Blackburn desperate for something as they seek an equaliser. The ball is thundered downfield towards Hedges, left-hand side, cleared away by Egan Riley again. Suddenly he's stepped up to the fore in these final few moments, the former Manchester City player. With Buckley playing a big diagonal ball out to the right-hand side, and it's headed away by Brownhill again. We've got 90 seconds to go. Blackburn's last stand in the game. Callum Britton delivers from the right, header away by Maxime Esteve from the edge of the Burnley penalty area. A long line of claret and sky blue shirts between Blackburn and the goal. Header away by Egan Riley once more. The centre-halves have been excellent again today. It's whipped in by Buckley, 1-0 to Burnley. Another header, this time by John Egan. Three big, strong, tall, experienced centre-halves at the back for Burnley, and they're getting the job done with every Blackburn cross that comes into the penalty area. 50 seconds to go. Burnley still leading 1-0. Ryan Hedges for Blackburn with a low ball in. It's come off Connor Roberts, and enough done by Anthony to prevent the corner. Burnley have only got seconds to see out, and they win a free kick. Foster was caught, and that might just about be that. With 30 seconds to go, there's a Burnley flag being held up by the away supporters. It's fluttering away in the wind. Their arms are above their heads, clapping and cheering. Burnley know the significance of this potential result in the Championship. It takes them level on points with the leaders' leads, but I think even more significantly today for Burnley, it'll be bragging rights once again.
That's it, massive, isn't it? You know, it can be the catalyst, getting a few grumbles, 0-0 draws, you know, it's one of them. This team defensively are switched on, concentrated. You cannot give them a lead in a game because they can kill it off. They don't need to have the ball all the while, but they just know the responsibilities.
We've had the 4 added minutes. Whistles from the Darwin end. That's where the Burnley fans are. They want the game to end. Brownhill, he's won it back just on the edge of the penalty area. The final whistle blows. Burnley have beaten Blackburn yet again. There is no let-up on their extraordinary dominance over their local rivals. And the Burnley players run towards the Darwin end, where their supporters respond in fine and delighted fashion. It is another Derby Day victory. And there are some afters at the end, 1 or 2 Burnley and Blackburn players threatening to go head-to-head. I think it's simmering down now. But for Blackburn, a run that stretches close to 15 years without a victory and without any sign of that barren Burnley run stopping. Handshakes at the end with a word exchanged between John Eustace and Scott Parker, and Scott Parker just having to be guided away by a couple of members of his coaching staff. I'll tell you what, they don't like each other in these parts. 11 miles apart, the two clubs, and it's pure heartache in this fixture once again for Blackburn in front of a big Ewood Park crowd. But Burnley make their points and leave with all 3. They are level with the Championship leaders, Leeds United, as they all gather together, the Burnley players, on the edge of the penalty area. Connor Roberts races towards the away fans and punches the air. Zian Fleming's fine header was the goal that mattered, the moment that mattered in the game, and is being dragged towards the away fans by those Burnley players now. Burnley with another statement of their promotion intent, and East Lancashire belongs to the Clarets once more. Blackburn 0, Burnley 1.
Delighted Burnley fans going to be making their way down the M65 shirtless, currently behind the goal. Brave in these conditions, that's for sure, but that is what a derby win means to these fans. Heart signs being sent from the Burnley players to their supporters, who were absolutely magnificent throughout the game, and another clean sheet for Scott Parker's Burnley is absolutely incredible, Chris Owalamo. Level on points with Leeds. The pressure's on.
Yeah, the pressure's on. It's outstanding, isn't it? It's a fantastic result. And a game that, first half, I'd say Blackburn had the better opportunity. Second half was very, very scrappy, but just a moment of quality. And it can be nullified as well. Danny Barton, Hyam, they have to communicate. Danny Barton takes the ball off of Hyam, but it's Bashi Humphries that picks it up at the back end. It's an excellent cross in, and who wanted it more? Fleming. He made the contact, read the flight of the wall, threw himself at it. It's an excellent diving header, and Ainsley Pearce has no opportunity there whatsoever. But the difference is it's how they manage the game after that. They kill the game off. They're comfortable in possession. They don't need to score again. They know that they can, they can keep control of the ball, keep control of the game, and just see the game out. And that's what this team has done from the get-go. 9 goals conceded. It's unbelievable, Faye.
Incredible.
And that's where Blackburn have to kind of force the issue. Get in the referee's ear, be a little bit savvy, give away silly free kicks, stop the flow. Really had moments after they conceded as well to go and really penetrate and hurt Burnley. But just that final pass, that final bit of quality let them down, and then just decision making. How can Cantwell and Andy Vyman, not one of them, take responsibility when it's bouncing in the 18-yard box to go and take the shot on? Just moments like that. Owen Beck showed his inexperience in this left-hand side, giving poor free kicks away when Burnley are just defending for their life, saying that they're comfortable defending, but really force the issue there. So John Eustace, I'm sure in the debrief they can talk about that, but they have to try and get back to winning ways.
Yeah, they really do. I don't know how pleased the Blackburn fans are going to be with some of the celebrations that we're seeing on the pitch at the moment, with the Burnley players picking up the corner flag and waving it above their heads. I'm not sure that is particularly well advised in these parts. But I tell you what, Blackburn had their chances. You mentioned that. And I think Baker should have equalised. That ball in from Cantwell.
Yeah.
If he'd have directed the header, you said it in commentary, James Trafford was beaten. His feet were planted, and he just misguided the header wide.
Well, it's an excellent ball from Cantwell. He had 2 or 3 up against him as well. He manipulates the ball, gets the cross in, and that's one thing that you will know. There's going to be end product if Cantwell's on the ball. I think Lewis Baker's he's read the ball, he's read the flight of the ball. He is in the air a long time, Faye. I don't know if it's Egan Riley or Esteve that's basically marshalling him. They're basically holding contact, but he knows he's going to get the header away there. James Trafford is rooted for me if he hits the target. It's in the back of the net. In those little moments, it's small margins. He's glanced at it, needed a bigger connection, and it's in the back of the net. All the pace was probably on the cross. It never needed a lot of pace. He's in the 6-yard box there, but I think you're spot on. That one has to be in the back of the net, and the offside one as well, Faye.
Yeah.
You're thinking how can the linesman get that incorrect? He's got the 18-yard line to go by. There's a Burnley player inside the 18-yard box. Cantwell is outside the 18-yard box. It doesn't matter if the linesman sees him first. But what I will say, I think it's Esteve that just relaxes once he sees the flag, so he doesn't intercept that cutback from Cantwell to Maktar Gay.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Sorry, I've got one eye on Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2, which is live over on Talksport right now. They're into 6 minutes of 10 added on at the moment. Newcastle looking to go level on points with Chelsea. Tottenham were hoping to move themselves into the top half of the table. They're chasing a goal at the moment, having led really early on in that one through Dom Solanke. The England manager Thomas Tuchel sitting watching this one with his eye on who he's going to be selecting for the March internationals. There was a late equaliser at Swansea, I can tell you. Swansea 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. As it finished, West Brom had looked like they were going into 5th, but they stay 6th, level on points with Middlesbrough as it stands. Blackburn, though, will be kicking themselves not to get themselves back into the playoff positions, but I have to say, Leeds are going to be looking over their shoulders with a resurgent Hull at the moment under their new boss Ruben Sellers. They face off at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we know that the table doesn't matter at this stage of the season that much. Leeds are going to be looking over their shoulder.
No, definitely. I think when you look at the table at this point, you can really see the teams that are going to be there, the business end as well. What I will say about this Burnley side, Scott Parker, even the start of December, double session still, Faye, and that's what he was saying to the players. They were going into games feeling a little bit leggy, still getting the results, still getting over the board, but he said, you know what, come the business end, we'll be in a better position physically, mentally, than anyone else. But you're looking at Leeds have that fear factor. Teams set up differently when Leeds come to town, and I know Ruben Selles is in, and he will nullify Leeds, but it is going to be attack v defence there, and they've got it's about how in that transition how they use the ball to go and try and get anything out of that game. I see that being a very, very tough afternoon for Ruben Selles.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, Chris, it's been a pleasure. Go and get yourself warm, sit by a fire for the afternoon.
Thank you, Faye.
I will see you and Joe very soon, no doubt. Chris's former side, Stoke City, with their new manager Mark Robbins, held to a goalless draw by managerless Plymouth. Mark will be disappointed not to get his first 3 points at home. That's how the other championship game finished. I've mentioned Swansea won, West Brom won. Joe Allen with that 92nd minute equaliser for Swansea. Into League One, Burton 0, Northampton Town 1 is how it finished. Burton bottom of the table, 2 points behind Cambridge. Northampton ending their run of 6 games without a win thanks to Sam Hoskins' late winner. Cambridge 0, Bristol Rovers 1 is currently the latest score at the moment, 3 minutes into added time as it stands. In League 2, Notts County 2, Swindon 0 is how it finished. 2 goals from veteran David McGoldrick, and it was a 1pm kickoff between Bradford City and Grimsby. Bradford leading by 2-1 after goals either side of half-time, but Karen McJennet has halved the deficit. A win would move Bradford above Grimsby into 7th. They are still playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. About a minute left. It's currently Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2. Final stages over on Talksport right now. Next here on Talksport 2, though, more live and exclusive action for you, this time in the Premier League as Manchester City face West Ham. But in East Lancashire, Burnley have the bragging rights.
2 towns 11 miles apart, split today on footballing lines. And if you couldn't get a ticket, the only place to be is your home of the EFL. Talksport 2. Out to the left-hand side, and Kozia Dubry, who drives infield, and he's accelerating into the area. Kozia Dubry with a low shot, wide of goal. Lovely ball to slip in Cantwell. The flag is up. Gay has tucked it in, but it won't count. The flag went up early.
The linesman is poor. It's poor because the 18-yard line is there. There's a Burnley player in the box.
Dinked in by Bashir Humphreys. Fleming's header! What a header! And the Burnley fans celebrate with unbridled joy and passion. Blackburn 0, Burnley 1. Just on the edge of the penalty area, the final whistle blows. Burnley have beaten Blackburn yet again. There is no let-up on their extraordinary dominance over their local rivals. Burnley with another statement of their promotion intent, and East Lancashire belongs to the Clarets once more. Blackburn 0, Burnley 1.